Is Johny Depp coming back for Pirates? For real? Is my microphone stand going to jump off this thing? Yes. Both happened. Although I don't know if Johny Depp's coming back, but we'll see. That's the rumor. SNL 50, the anniversary. That was a hit for SNL. Apparently Mark Ellis was there, and son of a bitch didn't tell me he was in New York. I'll find out if that was true. Gareth Edwards potentially doing a new Dune movie after Denis leaves. Marvel didn't give a shit that the critics didn't like their movie. They'll talk about that. Matt Damon has a picture from the Odyssey. So that came out yesterday. We'll discuss that and more. I got an interview with Rory Karpf, who did well, first of all, he directed the show Dana White Looking for a Fight, and he's got a new movie. I'm going to talk to him about that. So John Roca joining me on the show here today. Thank you for being here, everybody. Let's get to it. It's the Kristian Harloff Show. Here we go. All right. 2 days in the row. In the row? Sure. 2 days in the row. I get the outlaw John Roca. What's up, man?
What the hell? Where's Roxy? I can't do this without Rox now.
I know. You guys, unbelievable for those people who weren't tuning in yesterday, and didn't seem like there weren't a lot of you, because we had over 13 or 1,400 people watching live. But it was 293 questions, shattering the record set by Roxy last week. Yeah. And that's not only has she now won, she already won 3 in a row, potentially 4 this week. Yeah. But she's shattered the record every single time that she's done this now. So you are also with her. And now we're looking to see if we can do that to beat 293 here today. We're starting off with 10. So not a bad start. Not a bad start.
Only 290 more to go. Let's go.
Yes, that's right. Can you imagine? Look, there's a shot. When every single time, lightweight. Every single time that you do this show by yourself, you usually do pretty well. It's hard to beat Roxy, but still.
I'd love to see capes and cows on Mondays and Roca on Friday, and let's see who wins the week. I guarantee you I'd win more weeks.
I don't agree with that. I think you get better stories on Monday. I just think that because they're comic book movie related, they there's more stories overall. So I think they're going to have stories no matter what. Hey, they haven't won. You won before. They haven't won in over a month.
Really?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Roxy, man. Roxy is the person to beat. Anyway,
come on, Ebony and Ivory, get that victory. Come on.
Well, look, we got some stuff going on here because there's this news now about Pirates. You heard about this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is it?
I think because it's such a crazy time right now. Like, who's canceled? Who's not canceled?
This is what I'm saying.
People not making a comeback. It's
we'll
so
talk about this.
Yeah.
People forget about things really fast. We were talking about this the other day with Jonathan Majors, right?
Yeah.
But about a year ago, producer Jerry Bruckheimer confirmed that 2 different Pirates of the Caribbean films were in the works. One to be a straight-up reboot with a whole new cast, and the other female-centric film with Margot Robbie slated to lead. One of those was penned by Chernobyl and The Last of Us series Craig Mazin and original Pirates scribe Ted Elliott, before a subsequent rewrite by Jeff Nathanson. At the time, he was also asked if Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow would appear, to which Bruckheimer said it's a reboot, but if it was up to me, he would be in it. Reports emerged late last year that filming was targeting a start date in late 2025 on St. Vincent Island. Names like Io Edeberry, Austin Butler, Haley Steinfeld have all been suggested in online rumors about the new film. Now, long-running scoop site The Diz Insider reports that they've heard that Depp will return for the next film, with Disney gearing up to begin production, but adds there was no set timeline. Depp was key to the franchise, with actors Jeffrey Rush, Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, and Kevin McNally among the various regulars. Both the 4th and 5th films, which lost several key, and director Gore Verbinski, are generally seen as the weakest entries in the series. Okay, so this is why it doesn't surprise me for a couple different reasons.
Okay.
Number one, the trial itself was over a year and a half, 2 years ago, into which he was proven, or not proven, but it was innocent, right? Is what he was. He wasn't charged for that one.
Okay, but innocent in the Virginia one, yes.
Right, which is the most recent one. And most recent is always what is everyone always pays attention to, right?
It's on American shores. Yeah.
Right. we're so far removed from the circus that was that trial that like, and it's the same, and in the same way that like when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, everyone was like, I'm not supporting another movie he's ever in. And Last Bad Boys did pretty well.
Yeah.
It really there's another Pirates movie. Now, I'm not telling you there's not going to be some people that say I can't watch that movie because of him. There will be. Yeah. Do I think it's enough to say, well, no one's coming to see this movie anymore because they won't see it with him? No, I don't. I think that there's going to be more people to say I won't see a Pirates unless Johnny's in it than the opposite. So this to me makes sense that they think that they can do this, but they will get a lot of people saying afterwards, and guaranteed it's a lot different. I don't like the argument when people go, well, wait a minute, if Robert Downey Jr. got another shot so fast, how come Jonathan Majors did? That's a stupid argument.
Yeah,
that's a stupid argument because for a lot of different reasons. One, this is a guy who was doing this kind of self-harm to himself. Plus, he wasn't just forgiven. Yeah, he was given shots in Ally McBeal and he blew it, and then he was almost pretty much cast out of Hollywood. And then his friend had to take a shot at him, and he got lucky. He got lucky, and he came back. So that's not the thing. Yeah. If you want to then compare this afterwards and say, "Hey, wait a minute," then still the argument could be, well, the difference is that he was decided guilty when Johnny Depp wasn't, or whatever it might be. But still, this is more of an argument to say, okay, we forgave him. Can we now forgive him? Right. But what do you make of all this?
I mean, listen, I've always said this about this situation. This was a toxic couple that both did toxic shit to each other. So this idea that we have to take sides in all of this, when it seems like both of them were pretty bad to each other and none of us were in the room, to me makes it feel like there's a lot more for fans, for moviegoers who like Johnny Depp. There's a lot more plausible deniability in their approach to the situation, right? With Jonathan Majors, there's video, right? And you can construe it whichever, that he abused her and threw her into the car, or that she chased him down even though he was jogging and not really running full speed. So you can twist that video to make it seem whatever you want it to seem. But there's nothing like that with Johnny and Amber. There's just a he said, she said. So it allows for a little bit more of space. I think I would be excited to see him come back. I think there's a lot of people who are fine with him coming back, because some of us have been in relationships. We've been in bad relationships. We know what it's like to be with somebody who's not in the best place, and it just kind of blows up. So we can kind of get past that. And so I think he'll be fine to come back. The question becomes, though, is the success of the franchise really tied to Johnny? Because people just may be tired of a Pirates franchise overall. Last few films didn't do that well. And so you go, well, are people going to hang the success of the film or the failure of the film on Johnny Depp being in the film? And I think that would be a little bit unfair, because it's a very long in the tooth franchise now. And I wonder if this will even make a difference.
You see, so there's two different things there, right? Which I agree with you on all of it. But the first, someone wrote in the comments, which I also agree with, is that Johnny Depp is Pirates. He is. So sure, I don't care about, you can try to do spinoffs, and you can try to do things like with Margot Robbie, who's a big star. You can give it a shot if you want to spin off your franchise. But let's call it what it is. People that movie blew up because of him and what he did in that role. Now, what you also said was very true, and that's that it's not like, well, they need Johnny back because when he was in there, all these movies are great. The last few of them, I only think I like one of them. I think I like one of them. I think that I've enjoyed maybe two of them, but they're not great, minus the first one.
Yeah.
So they would have to retool it anyway, but you want to retool it with him. You'd rather retool it with him than retool it without him, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. And do you bring back Orlando? Do you bring back
not as necessary? Not as necessary.
That cameo. But I agree with you. I don't think they are necessary.
No, they're not as necessary. If you want to try to give it a shot, sure, but it's not as necessary as getting him back, because if you don't have them back, there's not people going, well, what are you doing? How come you don't have them back? If you don't have him back, people will say that.
Yeah.
They'll go, without Jack Sparrow, what is Pirates?
Yeah. Because you've got to come with somebody who can replace the Jack Sparrow.
Right.
Because that's what it's sold. It's like Schwarzenegger with a Terminator franchise. You can't have Terminator without Schwarzenegger. It's really hard to do that. Yes, there was a TV series, but it's very hard to do Terminator without Schwarzenegger. You were able
I
to
agree
do
with you, but I feel like you could. I feel like you could. I feel you could do Terminator because of the premise alone, and the Terminators themselves more than you can do Pirates. I think that you could, but you know who would actually really be good in a Pirates movie? And after seeing Furiosa, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't he be great?
That could be a lot of fun because he certainly had a blast doing that character on Furiosa.
He was great in Furiosa.
Mm-hmm.
He was great. That movie was slept on.
I'm so mad at that movie. We just finished doing a 3-part episode on Mad Max Fury Road, and I went back and watched Furiosa, and I stand by my love of that film. It's a damn good film. I don't know why people ignored it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't either. I don't know why people don't understand it. Why didn't they support it, I should say, because I don't hear a lot of people who saw the movie that didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's more so like, I remember being on the show with you, and we were talking about how that movie did really bad, and like that last May was a stinker for movies, and we thought, that's it. The whole system's going down, and then this Inside Out kind of just brought everything back, and then there wasn't that conversation anymore. But
yeah,
I couldn't believe it. That movie was really good. But anyway, my point is, I think that Hemsworth would be really good in that role. Yeah, in like a Pirates role. I'd like to see him with Johnny, but I think he's one of those guys that probably could do it, and maybe bring something, because he's got a lot of personality, that dude.
It could be, yeah. You could connect him up like he's a long lost brother. Or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like illegitimate child of Jack Sparrow's mom, or something,
or something, or maybe someone else. Maybe a different character. I don't know. It's like,
yeah.
But nonetheless, I do think you need him, and I'm curious what everybody else thinks about this. Should they put Johnny in there? Should they leave him out? Should they go forward with this reboot with Margot Robbie and go that route? What say you? The other stuff that's coming yesterday, John. This one came out, and this is the first photo. Yeah, I love this. I love this. This is the first photo of Matt Damon in Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. That's a badass picture.
Yes, it is.
It's a badass picture. The first official photo has been released from Christopher Nolan's adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey. This shot showcases a look at Matt Damon in costume, Universal confirming with the photo's release he is playing the story's lead character of Odysseus. Damon leads a cast that includes Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron, Benny Safdie, Elliot Page, John Bernthal, John Leguizamo, Corey Hawkins, Mia Goth. Everyone who is acting is in this movie, apparently.
Yeah.
That is a cast. Is that the best cast you've seen in a movie in a long time?
I think so. That's a massive
crazy. That is crazy. The 8th century poem recounts the 10-year journey of Odysseus, king of Ithaca, as he travels home after the Trojan War. He and his crew encounter many perils, including massive monsters, lethal sirens, sorceress, and the vengeful god of the sea. Meanwhile, Odysseus' wife and grown son must contend with aggressive suitors that have designs on the throne. The project will shoot throughout the remaining first half of this year in Sicily, the UK, and we're also using brand new IMAX film technology. The film will open July 7th, 2026. I don't know if there's going to be a movie in 2026 that's going to top higher on the list for me than this movie. I'm telling you, dude, first of all, the fantasy side of it, with the monsters and the ancient times, the cast, Nolan, the IMAX side of it, I am pumped. Is what's his face? Achilles in this? Achilles? Isn't Achilles was in was in the Iliad, wasn't it?
You're asking me to go back way too far in my
I
brain.
could have sworn that he was in
I don't remember.
Is the audience is going to
in what is it in the Odyssey?
The Iliad.
Okay. In the Iliad. Okay.
Right? Am I right? Or am I thinking? Or am I confusing the two? People will tell me in the comment section. Oh, he's in the Iliad. Right. That's what I said. And they're doing the Odyssey, and I was right. I said he was in the Iliad, but they're not doing the Iliad. They're doing the Odyssey. So okay. Anyway. So
yes, Odysseus meets Achilles in the underworld in Homer's The Odyssey. So
okay.
maybe. but I think he's dead already. So yeah,
right. So it comes after the Elite, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm placing it together in my head. But either way, that would be great if they actually show that. But I'm so pumped for this. Are you not? You're not that excited for it?
I'm cautiously optimistic because like, this isn't the normal Nolan stuff, right? This is
what is.
Well, I mean, like, what is he does? Like, what the Oppenheimer stuff, the all these other Batman films. So this is way out there for him to do. So this is a fascinating challenge for him to do this. And this stuff, like old mythology stuff, doesn't always translate to success in the box office. So I'm going to be real curious to see what the end result is going to be. Yes, I'm excited about it, but I'm also a little bit cautious because this is so far out of what Nolan usually does, which is ground-based, realistic stuff. That even this Batman was ground-based, fantastical. So I'm just curious to see how he's going to do this, but it looks badass. And if he can capture that energy, then hell yeah, I'm on board for sure.
I'm pumped.
I don't know if I agree with you. That's the thing should be most looking forward to.
Well, I didn't say it was yours.
No, I was just saying, is it Doomsday in 2026?
I'm looking to see what else comes out in 2026 to see if I'm gonna rescind on that. Let me see.
I know. I appreciate the enthusiasm. I'm just saying. I think there's
you can't disagree on that.
Really in the top.
I don't agree with you that it's your most anticipated. I don't give a shit what you agree with. It's true. Oh, this is
like 28 years later in 2026. Is there?
Let me see what comes out in 2026. So far, I mean, there's other stuff that they're going to put in 2026, but let's see. That's April 2025. Hold on, September 2025. Where is it? All right, January 2026. Let's see. 28 years later is what. Yeah, that's not going to be on my number one.
Okay. Yeah, that's the second one of the new trilogy, right?
Sure. Whatever the untitled Marvel movie is. No Scream 7. No Cat in the Hat. No untitled Disney. Untitled Warner. Avengers Doomsday.
Hey.
I'm still going with the Odyssey, even though strangely enough, the Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm picking the Odyssey, but also
Steven Spielberg's Disclosure is in May.
Okay, so you might have thrown that off. Well, so we'll see. Masters of the Universe had those piss pot pictures not come out. It would have been up there. I don't even know if it's going to make my top 10 anymore. It would have been my top 5. If it would have been an Eternia with that director, but Scary Movie 6, Toy Story 5, Supergirl is up there probably.
Yeah.
Moana live action. Yeah, the Odyssey, untitled Spider-Man movie. I mean, look, there's a lot of great ones coming out. There's a lot of good ones. And then is there another? No, Jumanji 3, whatever those are. But maybe Disclosure. Maybe Disclosure.
That was your number one right now, Disclosure.
Yes, depending, but there's more details there's not a lot of details that are going to come out about the Odyssey that are making me go, oh, that's going to go down a list. Depending on if it's just another kind of like War of the Worlds type movie, then it'll go down on my list. Mm-hmm. If it actually has to do with things that have been going on in Disclosure and those types of things, and Spielberg, who is tapped into all this stuff, so that could jump. So right now it would be between Disclosure and the Odyssey. With I don't know if I'd rather see Doomsday or Manual. It's so crazy. Like 5-10 years ago, everybody knows what my number one is.
Right.
Now that you have to guess if it's going to be even in the top 5.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, because will it be right? A lot of people are dinging Captain America: Brave New World, as you said yesterday, as a glorified episode of.
Did someone say Dune 3 is 2026? Or 2027. I don't think Dune 3 is in 2020. Is it? Or did I blow right by that?
I don't see it. Oh, wait. No,
Dune Messiah. It's in December. Oh, shit.
Yeah. There's an untitled Denis Villeneuve film. It doesn't mean that it's Dune.
I just saw Dune Messiah. It's December 25th. It says Christmas. Oh, shit, guys.
Yeah.
Shit, guys. Wow. So I don't know. It's a tie. It's a tie for it's a 3-way tie. Damn audience.
Spoke too soon.
Damn audience. It's Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't know.
Good. We're about to eat good in 2025 and 2026.
Oh, don't say that to Mike. He doesn't like that. Mike hates that.
He hates that phrase?
He hates that phrase. It drives him nuts. Yeah, I know. Dune, Messiah, Disclosure, or Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those three are up there, and then I would say Doomsday, and then Mandalorian Grogu, maybe there's something else that beats that. So yeah, it's hilarious. A Star Wars movie doesn't even barely cracks the top 5. Yeah,
it's in my 10. I wouldn't put it in my 5 right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But I mean, look, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out in 2026. But did you ever do a top 10 anticipated for this year?
Leave me alone.
Oh,
Leave
you didn't.
me alone.
You didn't. What a loser.
At number 6, I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, that's right. I had I tell you, I'm going back and forth with Amazon right now. After the Hunt movie is going to be an Oscar for everybody involved.
The Julia Roberts one. Okay.
Oh, Luca. I think Luca's deserved. It's the Luca movie. You know, it happens to have it, but a great cast: Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield. It's going to be solid. It's going to be real solid.
Yeah.
All right. Look, so I want to get everybody's thoughts in there. That was a nice little adventure to go through because of all the movies that are coming out in 2026. I thought 2025 was stacked. Holy moly.
Yeah.
All right. Look, we got some stuff to talk about. I'm going to tell you guys about some of our great sponsors. I'm going to tell you about a new movie that's coming out, and then we're going to get back to these stories. So check it out, everybody. Let me tell you about our good friends over at Trade Coffee, HelloFresh, and of course, Robinhood. Here you go. All right, coffee drinkers. I'm sure you're like me. I start the morning and I need my coffee. I got to have 2 cups. That's what I do. Leave me alone. Don't bother me until I have my coffee. And for the longest time, I kept saying, I don't know. I don't like that bag of coffee. I don't like that one. That one's just decent. I have not been like that in a long time because I discovered Trade. And once I did, I'll never go back. It is a coffee subscription service that delivers freshly roasted coffee straight to my door. I love it. Trade is the #1 U.S. specialty coffee marketplace. It brings you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Every bag is roasted to order. You'll taste it. You smell the difference from your very first cup. It just lights up the room. I'm telling you, this is so fresh. I feel like a coffee connoisseur now after being with Trade for so long. I just dig the different kind of blends. There's things that I thought I would never like that I've tried and now I love. And you have such a great menu and things you can just browse on their site, and they'll fit it right to your taste. It's brilliant. I love Trade. You guys know I do. I rave about it. It's like Christmas time every time I talk about Trade. Now, Trade is exclusively offering our listeners 40% off your first order at drinktrade.com/Christian. Did you hear what I just said? That's drinktrade, TRAD.com/Christian for 40% off your first order. drinktrade.com/Christian. Do not miss out on Trade. You will thank me for it. I promise. I'll tell you, eating healthier has been getting easier for me. HelloFresh. It's the best. I just am tired of figuring out over and over and over what's for dinner every night. What's for dinner, especially on the busy weekends. You just get dinner done easy thanks to HelloFresh. It's got a new read-made meal going right from the fridge to your fork in just 3 minutes. It is high-quality ingredients and restaurant-worthy flavor that you expect from HelloFresh, just with none of the work. You can save valuable time with fewer trips to the grocery store thanks to the HelloFresh Market. There's over 100 add-on items that you can add to your weekly box, like quick breakfast, packable snacks, beverages, and more. They are the best. I just love having them, and it's so convenient for me because I have a busy schedule, and HelloFresh makes it easy. You can get up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/HelloFreshPodcast. 1 item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on the first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. You got to go to HelloFresh.com, HelloFresh Podcast. It is highly encouraged. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. All right, guys, so, at least most of you know that for the last year or so, I've been producing Matt Serra's podcast, Geeking Out with Matt Serra. It's been a great experience. I've known Matt now for like 5 or 6 years and met a lot of great people through Matt. And one of those people is his director on Dana White Looking for a Fight, Rory Karpf. And Rory reached out to me, and what was cool is that Rory already was familiar with the show and had been checking out the show for a while. So very good director, and he did a movie called Grace Point. It has Andrew McCarthy in it. It's got Dean Thomas in it. And Jim Parrick. There's so many people in this movie, and it's a cool little movie. I always talk about how you guys always say to me, how come people aren't making original stuff, and how come it's always just remakes and other things. I said there's tons of stuff out there. There's tons of creators out there doing stuff, and Rory's one of those people. So thank you to Rory for being on the show. Here he is. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, thank you so much for having me on, man. Big fan.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to have you on here, and I wanted to discuss with you the movie. And I know that there's been some struggles, there's been some fun stuff, there's been a lot of things that you've kind of learned as a director. But before we get into that, tell me first, how did you get involved with Dana White Looking for a Fight? Because that show it's really fun. I like what you guys do on it.
Well, I did a show with Snoop Dogg called Snoop and Son. And that followed Snoop's son Cordell. He played football at Bishop Gorman High School. This was a show for ESPN. And on that same team was Nico Fertitta, who is Lorenzo Fertitta's son. Lorenzo Fertitta used to be owner of the UFC. So I saw Lorenzo on the sidelines, and I went up to him and introduced myself. I recognized him. And I happened to have actual UFC DVDs in my backpack, the best of George St. Pierre and whatnot. So I introduced myself, and we kept in touch. And then I mic'd up Nico once during a game, and I gave Lorenzo the footage, and he appreciated that. So we started a conversation. I told him I'm a huge UFC fan. And then I kind of pushed Cordell to go to a UFC pay-per-view for the show, for Snoop and Son, that we would film. And that was Conor versus Poirier 1. And so we went there, and Lorenzo approved it, and I got to go backstage, and I met Dana backstage, and I just told him, hey, I had been trying to get work with the UFC for years before this. I had some meetings and whatnot. So I think that just sort of planted the seed. Then I pitched Craig Borsari, who's their head of production, about doing a series on CM Punk, and then went into production over that. And then while we were in production, I got a message that, hey, Dana wants to meet with you. Could you come to Vegas? And that was pretty surreal, because I went to the old UFC headquarters, and Dana had the idea for Looking for a Fight. And he said, would you be interested in producing this? I said, Dana, I'll produce you shoveling the snow in your driveway. I don't care what the topic is. So then that's how we got going and whatnot. And the Looking for a Fight journey started. And like you said, my career has been primarily in sports unscripted, but for a long time, I've been wanting to take a swing in scripted. And that's what Grace Point is for me. Right.
So you take that jump and you decide, okay, look, this is something I've been wanting to do, and I have this passion to do it. I've been kind of building up. I'm successful in my career doing what I'm doing, but there's something missing, and I got to put this together. So how does it all piece together? Because it's very hard to make smaller films, when you're essentially financing it yourself. You got to find the money to do it. In general, you got to do the casting. So take me through that process.
Yeah, well, so it started, I did a documentary called The Book of Manning that came out in, I think, 2013. And from that documentary, I got an agent. And my agent said, well, what do you want to do? What are some of your goals? And I said, I really want to do a scripted film. This has been one of my goals since I was a little kid. And they had a script. It was called Mercy Falls. And it was a big budget action movie, a $20 million film, 25 million. And, we started the development process. And like a lot of things in Hollywood, it just sort of, and I probably have many stories of projects like this. It just sort of meandered for years, and then eventually just went away. They couldn't get the money for it, but I always kept the concept in the back of my head. Well, fast forward a few years later, and during COVID, I was shooting something in this town of Laurinburg, North Carolina. We were actually filming recreations for a film about Aljamain Sterling. And Laurinburg was great because it was very hassle-free. You could go to places, use them for free. And it was almost this town that time forgot in some ways. There's a lot of abandoned places, and they're just very welcoming to have production come there. So my DP said, hey, you should take that script that you had, Mercy Falls, but rewrite it so it all takes place in this town. And it was like, man, it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, holy shit. And maybe it was COVID and sort of like that you know tomorrow's not promised for you. You can't tell what's going to happen. But I just had a fire in me and rewrote that script in about 10 days. And that became Grace Point. And I realized I could remake this film and do it at a much smaller budget.
Right.
The budget for the film wound up being about $500K, a little more than $500K. And we could do it well. And I just pulled every resource. Like the timing was right. Like I had a lot more connections now. I was able to use some of my UFC friends to be in the film.
Right. Yeah.
And I knew Rob Lowe, so I could get Rob Lowe's son to be in it. And things just came together. So it was incredibly challenging to do a film like this on that budget, but it was also freeing because I didn't have anyone over me telling me what to do.
Right. Well, so you have to put this together and you've got to do it. You know, like you said, you only have so much time to shoot it. And you and I spoke about it, but not on air. So I want to get how Andrew McCarthy kind of got involved in this, because the story is pretty fascinating, because you were going out to a few different people to play the dad. And so people know it's like this small kind of thriller between this dad and the son. They're on the road, shit goes down, and you've got to find out what's going on in this crazy town. So the father role, take me through that, because you had a couple different people that you were going out to, and then you ultimately got a chance to work with Andrew. Yeah.
So, I mean, first, the film is a thriller genre. I wanted to make a movie that was one of my favorite types of films. And I've heard a lot of stories from first-time filmmakers that if the film doesn't work out, or let's say it's not a success, a lot of times they'll say, oh, like it really wasn't the film I wanted to make, or someone else took control. So I didn't want that to happen. So that is the freedom you get for an independent film. So it's a thriller, but it's a coming of age thriller. It kind of mixes two of my favorite genres together, thriller and coming of age. And there's a role of the dad that's a pivotal role. So we had reached out to different actors and some committed. But you got to remember, this is COVID. This is the height of COVID. This is beginning of 2021. Right. And we're filming in North Carolina. So a lot of these guys thought we were filming in LA and they could go home every day. And then once they found out where we were filming, they would ask for like double the money, or they backed out. And this just kept happening. Like with multiple actors, we get a commitment, and then right before they'd sign on the dotted line, they'd back out.
Was there somebody in general that was really close?
I mean, I don't know how close. I mean, because I was going through the casting agent. I never spoke to any of them specifically, but I know Jason Patrick, somebody they said had agreed, and then he backed out. And by agree, I mean, you know, my casting agent's talking to their agent.
Sure.
So if you asked him, he might be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But I was told he was in. Same with Sean Astin. Some different people like that. And eventually, we're like less than a month out. And the casting agent's like, what do you want to do? Because we don't have anybody. And I'm thinking, you know, I'm just going to have to go with kind of a no-name actor, or like a more of a character actor. That's just, so I started auditioning people. And then my casting agent said, have you thought about people that are in the Brat Pack? Because there could be a connection being Rob Lowe's son. So I looked down the list, you know, Emilio Estevez, Judd Nelson. And then I landed on McCarthy. And just doing some research, I saw that he lived in New York, which is closer to North Carolina. So I just asked the casting agent to make an offer to McCarthy. And I saw him. He was on a show called The Resident. It was like a TV show, some show where he played an addict, and he was really good. And then I read more about him, that he was himself in recovery. So they sent him the script. I didn't think we'd even get a response necessarily. And it was a Friday. He said he'd read over the weekend. And that Monday he agreed. And like 2 weeks later, we were filming the movie. So it came together very last minute. But I think he's perfect for the role. So that's what I tell filmmakers or anyone in a creative endeavor. I mean, this is like a zigzag. And you think you're going one way, then you drop down, then you go another. And you just have to keep moving forward. And sometimes you think something's a negative, but it turns into a positive.
It's true. Yeah.
That's filmmaking. You just have to be open to the process. And the number one quality, I think, to having a career in the arts, not just filmmaking, is resilience. That is the number one thing you have to have.
Sure.
In fighting too, if you think about fighters, I mean, you know, how many champion fighters you look and they've been on losing streaks, or it looked like they were down and they're back up.
I mean, our mutual friend Matt Serra. Look, I mean,
Matt Serra is the perfect
it.
example. Yeah. No one gave him a shot at
No.
beating George St. Pierre. It's the greatest upset in history.
Yeah.
So I think with getting a movie like this made, you just have to be relentless in pressing forward. And, you know, like you said at the beginning, it is a true independent film. There's no studio backing it. We have a very small distributor. So the biggest challenge right now is just getting people to see it and know that it's available.
Well, so let's talk about that. So real quick, before I let you go here, is that where can people, so for the audience watching right now, where can they watch the movie if they want to go check out Grace Point?
It's available on Apple right now and on Amazon.
Okay.
It's like $4 to rent. That's the best place. We had a small theatrical run that's over now. So, you know, we have a 94% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
Currently, we have 2 critics that are Rotten Tomato approved critics.
Yeah.
That reviewed it, and it's both fresh reviews. So I'm trying to just get critics to review the film. Hopefully ones that aren't super snarky and are just going to genuinely give it a chance.
I think super snarky critics will actually dig this. You know, what's funny is I'll send this interview to William Bibbiani, who is a critic I know, and other critics I know that are certified, that I can tell them about it for sure, because people should definitely check this out. And yeah, and I think that's always the magic trick of getting the awareness of the film itself, especially when you don't have a studio, you don't have a big PR firm that's kind of pushing it out there, and you're doing it on your own. So I applaud you for doing that, and I hope people see this, and some of the critics that are able to. I would do it, but for some reason, Rotten Tomatoes, I was the first YouTube reviewer ever certified on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow. Myself and Mark Ellis were the first 2. And once I switched over from Schmo's Note to this, it's been a process to get. I mean, I'm part of the Critics' Choice Awards. I'm part of all this stuff. I can't get Rotten Tomatoes to certify me again, but I'm working on it. If I can get it,
it's crazy that because critics have reviewed the film, and almost all of them have been positive, but a lot of them aren't Rotten Tomato approved, so they don't come up in the algorithm on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, like all that stuff, it does matter. So I tell people, if they watch the film and they like it, leave a review. If you don't like it, keep it to yourself. Yeah. But if you do like it,
fair enough. Totally.
Leave a review. And I would just say, like, you know, I'm somebody who believes in like pursuing your dreams. And this has been a dream of mine for 20 some years. That same year, I wound up actually having a fight that Matt Serra attended. That was another one of my dreams. So this was a big bucket list year for me, making a movie, having a fight. And Matt Serra showed up at my fight.
That's great.
Probably not expecting much, but I was trained by Dean Thomas. And I think it was Dean Thomas's greatest coaching performance, because if you saw my athletic ability and you thought, wait, this guy's going to fight. But somehow I survived and won.
That's great, man. Well, good. So look, this is a great story in general. The movie, you guys can check it out. It's Grace Point. You can check it out on, as Rory said, you can get it on Apple, you can get it on Amazon. Go do it. Support independent filmmaking. Rory, thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Dude, thank you so much for having me and supporting Grace Point.
Talk to you soon. Grace Point. Rory Karpf, thank you so much for joining the show today. Really appreciate it. Yeah, John, and I forgot, because you should check this movie out too, because you're Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
You should check it out, because there's only a few people that have reviewed it, and everybody's liked it thus far. But it's up your alley. It's got like it's a smaller feels, and you always get nervous in situations like that, because like he's been directing Matt on Dana White Looking for a Fight, and then Matt told him that he was working with me and he knew the show, and he's like, hey, I'll reach out to him watching this movie, and I'm like, I'll watch it because Matt asked me to hang, to get in touch with them, and he gave him his stamp of approval. So I'm like, let me talk to the guy. And he was a really nice guy, and I'm like, let me watch this movie. I'm like, please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck. And it was a good movie. So I'm like, okay, that's always when I'm like, all right, that's because you get nervous, because I'm like, I don't want to, because you know me, I wouldn't have done the interview, because I don't want to tell the audience to watch it if it's not good. So yeah, I think you should check it out.
Okay. All right. Done and done.
You're at 52 questions so far. That's not bad. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
250 away.
About that to beat Roxy. Yeah, about that. So we got some more stories here, John, today.
Yeah, let's go.
And there's some good ones. So after you guys were talking about the Saturday Night Live thing yesterday, I watched a bunch of it. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched a bunch of it. This sketch here was hilarious until Tom Hanks comes in.
Yeah, it was weird.
It ruined the whole. I love Tom Hanks, but it ruined the whole vibe of this sketch. Eddie Murphy was killing it.
Yeah,
he was killing it as Tracy Morgan, so much so that Leslie Jones couldn't even hold it in.
Yeah.
But the show itself annihilated in the ratings. It's the 50th anniversary, pulled in a strong 14.8 million viewers on average across NBC and Peacock on Sunday. Is that when it is? It was on Sunday.
Yeah,
or was it
live on Sunday at 5 o'clock.
So funny. I literally just watched it last night, so I had no idea. 202 over the average number of viewers tuning into regular episodes of the series throughout the season, which has been hovering at 4.9 million in live same day at 8.4 in live plus 7. The special also scored a 2.5 rating in the key 18 to 49 demographic. Viewership is expected to grow once delayed viewing is factored in. NBC claims it's the most watched primetime entertainment telecast in 5 years, their largest numbers since the 2020 Golden Globes. In addition, it was the fourth most watched entertainment telecast of all time on Peacock, coming behind only Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade telecast. NBC also says that the special reached 8.7 million social interactions, their most social entertainment telecast the past 2 years. The notable Black Jeopardy sketch featuring Eddie Murphy impersonating Tracy Morgan alongside the real Tracy Morgan has reached 2.8 million views on YouTube. NBC did not report viewership for Friday night's NSL 50, the homecoming concert, but it did nearly double the average reach of the main series this season. Okay, so I can speak a little bit more about it now because I've seen about an hour and a half of it. It's a 3-hour show. So I thought, now who do you think from only the hour and a half that I've watched so far, Lee, maybe stole the show?
Adam Sandler?
Molly Shannon.
Yeah.
Molly Shannon stole the show. She was so locked in. She looks great, by the way. She hasn't touched her face and ruined her face with all the nonsense. She's just naturally, she looks great. She looks great. And she was hilarious, and she's doing the kicking and the jumping. I'm 50. She's doing hilarious. She was great. Thought she was wonderful. The other thing I'm so surprised to not hear the two of you talk about yesterday.
Okay. Well, we only had a few minutes. Yeah.
Still, it's the first thing I would have brought up. I loved that they finally paid homage to Sinead O'Connor.
Yes.
So for people who don't know, Sinead O'Connor was famously kicked off of Saturday Night Live for ripping up the picture of the Pope. It was, and correct, probably better than I do, but from what I remember, she ripped it up in protest of all the scandals that was going on in the church, right?
Yeah, because in Ireland there have been very big scandals that hadn't been reported about these priests sleeping with altar boys and with young parishioners and what have you. So she was doing it as protest because the Pope wasn't doing anything about it at the time. Yeah.
Right. And so at the time, it was like, how dare she do this? Unbelievable. And they kicked, and they wouldn't let her come back. But since then, people were like, well, she stood up to it. Look at the scandals that came out. Unbelievable. And they never had her back. They never had anything. So to have Miley Cyrus and then the lead singer from, oh my God, what is it? Oh my God, Alabama Shakes.
Yeah.
Lead singer, who is just next level singer. Miley Cyrus is good, but the Alabama Shakes lady is just next level.
Yeah, come on.
It's just crazy. So anyway, I thought that was a nice moment, and I thought it was to give Sinead O'Connor a kind of like a redemption arc on that show.
I agree, and it started in the 4-episode one. If people haven't seen the 4-episode one that's out on Peacock, which is a companion piece for this 50th anniversary night, they have a sequence in one of the episodes where they talk about what happened with Sinead and how, like, in retrospect, she was right. And Al Franken even says that. And if you watch the Sinead documentary from a couple years ago, that was really great before she passed, there is an extended sequence talking about everything that went on with that moment and how afterwards Chris Christopherson was really essential in like kind of consoling her and helping her to be strong through it all. But yeah, that moment killed her career. Like it really did. It just destroyed her. Even though it was for the right cause, it just destroyed her. So I'm glad you point that out, that it was nice that they gave her a redemption here in this special.
I was surprised that they did, and I'm glad that they did. The second it started playing, I'm like, wow. And I don't think people really knew the significance of it. A lot of people didn't anyway. But it was great to see. I didn't love, maybe because I didn't do a lot. Most of the viral moments, I went right past because I didn't want to watch any of it because I wanted to watch it for myself. The one that I did see, and I wish I wouldn't have, but I probably would have felt the same way. That Ryan Reynolds bit was in bad taste, man. It was in bad taste. And I don't think Blake Lively knew it was coming.
Maybe not. I'm probably not. Although,
did you watch her reaction?
Yeah, her reaction was like, she was like mortified. Costner was pissed.
Yeah, I told you. I showed you. I told you. You watched it?
Yeah. And so, yeah, I thought it was such poor form by Ryan because it just dismisses everything that's happening. Don't joke about it. We're still in the middle of it. Why?
We're in the middle of it, and like, and look, he only says, "What have you heard?" But you know what he's talking about. But she looked caught off guard.
Yeah, completely.
Caught off guard. Like when he goes, "What'd you heard?" She's just kind of like shocked, and then she tries to smile it off. Yeah. And then Costner's kind of looking down, like looking at her, like seeing how she's going to react. I don't know, but that being said, that bit with all the celebrities, I thought did work well.
Yeah. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth, man.
Go ahead.
All these people coming in, these sketches were not as great as people are saying. They weren't, because they were bringing in all these people. They probably didn't have a lot of time to rehearse. They're not a well-oiled machine.
Right.
So a lot of these sketches fell flat. There were good moments within the sketches.
Sure.
Meryl Streep stuff.
I think there was a good energy with them, though. The difference is, the difference is that even though if they weren't that great, as long as there's a good energy with it, and it feels like sometimes there's for example, there was no energy when Tom Hanks came in at the end there. It sucked that whole scene. The energy just got sucked dry. It was moving at a rrhythm, and then they just brought him in, and it was weird. It wasn't funny, and they abandoned the whole bit with Tracy and Eddie, which was the whole bit, and then it was gone because they brought Tom Hanks in. They should have brought Pumpkins back.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun. But I know why they did it, because obviously it's a callback to his Black Jeopardy sketch from I think 2 or 3 years ago, which was really funny. That basically showed how both sides have a fear of the government, both the MAGA side and some members of the Black community. So that was a really funny sequence. But the way they set it up here,
it was out of context. It was out of context in what they were doing. Yeah. I haven't watched. I still have another hour and a half. Please tell me Wayne's World shows up. You can spoil it.
No.
Come on. How do you not put my wife is going to be mad. She's going to be mad. She's like, how do you not put Wayne's World in there?
I mean, Coffee Talk shows up.
But who cares about Coffee Talk?
I'm just saying.
Where's Wayne's World?
Yeah.
You got to have Wayne's World. Yeah. And she was my wife's two favorites. She was looking for that. And then I let her down because I softly, because I knew she was going to be upset. She loves Stefan. I was like, well, Bill Hader wasn't there, so he's not going to be. And she's like, oh, she's like, all right, well, at least I know that. I thought the Bill Murray thing was funny.
Yes, which one? The
news? When he's counting down the anchors, which was hilarious. I think Dennis Miller was ranked too low.
Yeah, I agree. Dennis Miller was ranked too low. And no offense, I know Norm died, but I don't think Norm should have been that high either. I mean, Dennis was much better than
Norm was very funny, and Norm had great jokes and memorable moments. But as an overall anchor, no, he was not better than Dennis Miller. They gave him those props because he passed. And
exactly.
Yeah, who were the two hosts that committed murder? OJ? Did OJ host the show once?
Yeah. Oh well, no, it was was it OJ? Yeah, I think OJ hosted the show for sure. I don't know who the other host
They said there was two hosts that have, and Mulaney goes, it's pretty good that only two hosts in the history of that have committed murder. I was like, who were the two that committed murder? It had to be OJ, had to be one of them.
Robert Blake, right?
Did Robert Blake? I was thinking Robert Blake. Was it Robert Blake?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, they didn't do Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. They should have done that. I did like especially after speaking with Joe Piscopo. I was glad to see him in the audience. I saw him. So yeah, they were. I don't know. Maybe this is just a generational thing.
Right.
I find a character of Chad as funny as that plastic bag that is sitting on my table. Okay. It's like talking to my teenage daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's funny about that? It's annoying as shit. Driving me crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not. It wasn't funny.
The show, isn't that the show? You're talking about the Chad, the one that
the one that Pete Davidson did. They put because Lorraine Newman was coming in, and I like that segment they were doing with her, and then he's just like, okay, and it's like,
yeah.
What's funny about that? I think that new guy is and I like Pete Davidson as a person. I really do.
Yeah.
I just think that who's the guy that plays Diego, and I don't know his name.
Yeah, Marcelo. Yeah, Marcelo Hernandez.
I think he is the version that what they wanted Pete Davidson to be. Like he's a guy that can tap into every character. Pete Davidson is essentially Pete Davidson and everything.
Yeah.
Marcelo is. I think Marcelo. There's two people in the new cast that I think are like those stars that pop, and it's him, and then there's the girl, I don't know her name yet. She is oh shoot, Steph always corrects me of her name. She got a tattoo, she's kind of skinnier, I don't know, you know her, if it's Steph, I don't know what her name is.
Is she a tall one or
no, but she pops up in a lot of these different, they're using her a lot, rightfully so. Now what you said, Kim Kardashian ate it in the scene with the sisters.
Yes.
What did she do? What did she do in that thing? It was so bad. I didn't think she was great.
She was like a 7-year-old in first grade doing her first play. Like, where am I supposed to be looking? Hi, camera. I mean, it was.
Yes, that's not Heidi Gardner.
As someone who's watching a show, you can tell. Like Scarlett was dialed in. Anna Gasteyer, who I think was the other MVP of the show, Anna Gasteyer was great. If you watch the concert. Her and Will Ferrell doing their thing and doing the Kendrick Lamar song, which is genius. But like seeing that situation, everyone else is dialed into what they're doing in Lawrence Welk sketch, and you've got Dummy McDummerson like looking around. What am I gonna do? You know, I
didn't think she was that bad. I didn't think she was good, but I didn't think she was bad. Just because people keep throwing in names, and I don't want people to go nuts. It's Sarah Sherman.
Sarah Sherman. She's great. I love Sarah.
She's great. Sarah Sherman is a star. Yeah. Sarah Sherman is a star, and that dude Marcelo is a star. Those are your two best. There are some people, and I won't call them out by name. There's one particular cast member, I'll say, that is so bad. They just give this person the stuff to do, like, hey, bring out this case, and then say thanks and walk away, because they have nothing. This person will be on the show for another season if they're lucky.
Yeah,
if they're lucky.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was. But the question is, which is fair, and someone says this in the comments, why they chose Kim Kardashian to be in that? Out of is the Kardashian show on Peacock?
No, it's on Hulu. Well, but she was a host, I think, last year, 2 years ago, and that episode was received really well.
Oh, was it?
So they wanted to use her, and everyone seems to have now. Oh, it's so frustrating. Everyone seems to have collectively moved on from the vapidity of them and are like, oh, let's celebrate them now. And it's like, what are you guys talking about? Stay firm in your stances, people, for God's sake. Come on.
It's right. So Sarah Sherman was in you're so not invited to my bar mitzvah. She was to my bar mitzvah. She was the teacher, right?
Yeah.
She was good in that. And I forget. Yeah, I really like her a lot. I like this. To me, the ones that I always resonate to in Saturday Night Live are the ones who really commit to characters, right? Yeah, there's some people that, and there's some actors, like I said about Pete Davidson. I think Pete Davidson is a pretty good actor, honestly. He does his stuff, but Jimmy Fallon was somebody I never loved him on Saturday Night Live because his bit was to laugh all the time, even when it wasn't really laughing. He would laugh during the sketches and kind of ruin the sketches.
Yeah.
But he was never really committed into the characters, right? The Phil Hartmans of the world, the Chris Farley's, John Belushi's, those are the people that I really resonated to. So the ones Gilda Radner, I think, is my favorite female cast member of all time. So I still think she's the best. I got such a damn kick out of when at the end they were ranking that one song that they were doing, and at the end of it they in that Andy Samberg and Bone Yang one when he goes, the worst cast members. Will Forte, and he's like, Will Forte. He's like, what? Come on. Will Forte looks just like Ken Knapsack. I mean, looks just like him. It's hilarious. Anyway, so the show did pretty well. Yeah, glad it did, and there you go.
Yeah, I like it. I'm looking forward to it. And you guys should watch everything. The concert is fucking awesome. If you guys ever watched the concert, which is
Is that from the other week? Is that from the night before?
3 hours, and it's great. There's
Was
a
it-
6.5 minute Lonely Island melody medley rather with Lady Gaga doing the stuff with Andy Samberg. It's amazing.
Oh, when did that air?
That aired on Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on now. We mentioned Dune earlier. I didn't know that Dune Messiah was coming out in 2026. The audience let me know that quick that it was. So there's already talk about a fourth Dune. We already know that Denis not up for it or wants to, doesn't want to do it. Gareth Edwards could potentially helm a fourth Dune, is what people are saying. Following reports that Denis Villeneuve's third and final Dune film, Dune Messiah, could be shooting as early as this June, a new rumor has emerged that suggests that Warner Brothers Pictures is already thinking ahead with the franchise. Scooper Daniel Rickman reported that the creator Godzilla and Rogue One, a Star Wars story director, Gareth Edwards, has been approached by Warner to potentially helm a fourth film in the series, most likely an adaptation of Robert's third book in the series, Children of Dune. If true, Edwards is an interesting fit for the franchise. He's shown a knack for telling imaginative and expansive sci-fi stories on very reasonable budgets and can work within the studio system while still delivering an auteur style. Edwards is currently in post-production on Jurassic World Rebirth, which opens this summer, and he doesn't have his next project lined up yet. Villeneuve has made it clear that he's done with the franchise after Messiah, which essentially concludes the Paul Atreides storyline, and Villeneuve says the books get too weird after that point. Children of Dune takes place 10 years after Messiah, and several main characters from the films are either absent or have limited screen time. Several returning supporting characters, however, are key to the story, as are a number of new roles, including a key female villain role in the form of exiled Princess Vernicia of House Carino. The book was previously adapted into a sci-fi miniseries in the early 2000s with Susan Sarandon as Vernicia and a young James McAvoy in the male lead role. Wow, talking about shows you've never heard of before.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot here. The first, I'm going to spin to the positive of this.
Okay.
And I really love that Gareth Edwards is getting this kind of second chance, right? And people are going, what do you mean second chance? He hasn't had a failure, since Rogue One. People really forget what happened with that movie. He is the one person, this is why he's continuing to get more work, right? He's played ball. He played ball and never complained and never talked out about the experience of what happened at Rogue One, right? He clearly didn't direct the movie all the way through. I can tell you for a lot of different examples of why that is the case. Yeah. The first is, why was Tony Gilroy brought in to do Rogue One Andor and not him? Okay, that's part one, because Tony Gilroy essentially directed all of Rogue One.
Hey, wait. Can we stop for a second, Kristian?
Sure.
Can we call out PLD? Can you bring up his comment real quick?
Sure.
He is telling Derek, what can I do to make you provide the same amount of support, but do it on a different day? Save all your donations and just do double tomorrow.
That's
telling him
you can't do that, PLD. No, PLD, you cannot do that.
You sack of shit.
No, PLD, you PLD. First of all, he's not in Houston. The guy's the guy's in Mexico right now.
Well, I'll find him in Mexico.
He's on. You can't. First of all, you're on a show. Don't do that. You it's one thing to say, I'm not going to donate. Don't tell people not to donate. Don't do that. What the hell are you doing?
Don't make me call my people up in Mexico.
No,
bro. You'll be in a vat of acid by the day.
He's trying to hijack the show.
Yeah.
You can't hijack the show. I don't care who's on.
Yeah, I don't,
tomorrow. You can't. Don't hijack the show. It doesn't matter who's on.
Jesus Christ, sad, pathetic little man.
Don't do that. Anyway, going back to Gareth,
mid-Carters. Anyway, go ahead. Yes.
Well, Gareth Edwards. Well, right now he was acting like Spike Dudley with that one. So Gareth Edwards getting that kind of second chance and being able to do that, because, like I said, he basically, because remember, you didn't even hear from this guy.
Yeah.
After Rogue One, the guy did $1 billion movie and he wasn't getting hired by anybody. Right. Nobody. And then he did The Creator.
Yeah.
And which you and I are different pages here on that one, but I think we both agree with the budget that he had to work with. It looks like a $200 million movie.
Visually stunning film.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It looks beautiful. And I liked the movie, and I thought it was, and I think that it's because of that movie that I say, okay, yeah, let's see what this guy can do with a Dune movie. Now, it's I don't. It's one of these things where I start to think like the Narnia movies, right? Or Narnia stories, rather. The first two movies or first two books, you're dealing with these kids that you're getting invested in. You learn these characters, and then by the third one, the two main kids that you really have locked into are gone, and you're like, oh, I don't like when stories do that, because it's one thing if it's like, okay, it's 6 movies, it's 7 movies, it's 8 movies, and it's like, well, yeah, that character's not there anymore. They're gone. We're doing it with someone else. It's almost like what they're doing with the TV show. They're just doing it with a movie now. Yeah. You know, they're going further into the future, and some things are connected. It's going to be tougher, but I still like being in that world. I wonder, are they going to have? I just don't want it to feel so differently. Are they still going to have Hans Zimmer score? Are they still going to have? You know, is it still going to? Are they going to try to make it look the same? Like, how do you feel about this story?
The first way I feel is, Derek, keep donating as much as possible that you want to donate today. Paul is coming up with his stupid logic of like, well, if he donates any day, it helps the channel overall. No, but it affects those of us who are co-hosting who want to win. So shut up, Paul. Second,
I agree with you on this one.
Thank you. You should fire him off your whatever he does for your channel, for God's sake.
Well, I can't do that.
Let him go wander the streets. The second thing I'll say this, Gareth Edwards, let's not pretend that Gareth Edwards hasn't had issues with all of his movies, right? I mean, like, look, they're all visually phenomenal. Godzilla is an incredible film to watch. I liked it personally, but certainly there were a lot of people who felt it was slow. I didn't love it for a long time. Yeah, right. And then you get Rogue One, and a lot of people feel that's Gilroy's film, that it kind of Toby Hooper, Spielberg situation with Poltergeist, that he came in, Gilroy did, and fixed it. And you watch the first season of Andor, and it's really hard to counter that argument when you watch that. And then you get what happened with the creator, which I thought was.
Where'd you go? You froze?
Oh,
you froze for a second. The creator was what?
The creator was visually beautiful, but the story wasn't as strong. The characters weren't as connectable, as interesting. And so there are issues when it comes to Gareth Edwards, when it comes to these stories and the characters. And I think that's the problem that you run into. So I worry about him stepping into Dune, because once you move past Messiah and you go to Children of Dune, it gets real wacky.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
You can lose the audience real fast if you don't know how to handle the wackiness of Dune.
Can they change it though? Are they able to? Do you think because those books aren't as beloved that they could change it to be less weird? Or is it just no way?
I don't know, man. I mean, because you could. Of course you could. It just depends on, how much how can you make that mix? Because then now you're messing with the core audience of Dune, who are like the book readers, and then you're messing with mythology. It becomes a Star Wars situation, right? Like Chiari Mundi.
I'm so curious to see how they're gonna do that overall. But let's see how the third one comes out first.
Yeah.
And even though I really consider this the second one, to be completely honest with you, I mean, because this is a second story. The first two movies, it's one story.
Yeah.
It's one big story. It's 2 parts, but it's one story. This is the to me the part 2 coming up, and then part 3 I guess would be Gareth Edwards, but we'll see. All right, we're gonna get to your questions in just a moment here. Before we do, I'm gonna tell you about Robinhood, and then we're gonna move right into some questions. Robinhood Gold. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account. Interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. All right, thank you to Robinhood. Make sure you go in the link in the description for all our sponsors here today. You want to help out the channel, that's how you do it. I saw a bunch of people signing up to all of our stuff, which is great. John, before we get into your questions, man, what's going on in the channel this week?
Yeah, we just did our live review last night of Captain America: Brave New World on the Geek Buddies. That is up for you all to watch or listen to, because the Geek Buddies are a separate podcast feed as well. We'll definitely have the hot mic coming up in a couple of days. I'll probably go live tonight and tomorrow night with some news subjects and topics to have some fun with you all there who have subscribed to the Outlaw Nation. So if you haven't subscribed to it, just go ahead and get over there to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Roca Says. We'll probably have some Jedi Way coming up later on this week as well, and our main Geek Buddies episode later on this week as well. So a lot of stuff happening there on the channel. Come hang out with us, please.
Still give you credit on the Jedi Way show.
Thank you, man.
I give you credit. I don't know how you continue to do a Star Wars show
We
week
just
in and week
enjoy
out.
talking Star Wars, the three of us.
Fair
That's
enough.
the reason. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. You know, there's a few things before I get into the questions. Also,
Sure.
we released this today. Where do I still have the photo in there? I thought I did. Maybe I don't have it in there. Oh, I must have got. No, here it is. The Avengers Endgame. We put it up today, this morning. It's already almost 40,000 views, guys. So thank you for that. We've just we went over 181,000 subscribers today. So
Awesome.
really, we're trying to hit 200,000 this year. I believe we'll get there. I hope that you'll join us for the ride if you're not already part of it. And let's start getting into these questions, because right now, John, 75 is a pretty, I mean, and any day 75 going into the question round is like, holy moly, you're crushing. So
Could have been more, but PLD stopped everybody from donating. That's a shame.
PLD doesn't realize that he basically for every super chat that you could have gotten comes out of his paycheck.
Oh,
So,
please, let's
there you
make it happen. I would love that.
So there you go. All right. So we have another thing. I put up a full reaction today, 3-hour version of the Endgame, non-edited for patron members and for patrons and for members. And so good time for both Nabby and Chris O'Brien to become members today. You got new member, El Chingo becomes a new member, Harlow becomes a new member. We have brand new members joining up today. What a day it is to do that, because we have some of these reactions that are going up, and I'll probably put another one up a little later on too. D is coming in to become a new member. Thank you, D. We got Chris Griffin becoming. Look at this. We have all these new members. I love it. Simon Section. Loved you and Sam's Endgame reaction. Sam had me in tears too. I'm so glad that she liked that Girls Get It Done scene that the boys parodied. Can't wait for the show's reaction in the future. Yeah, so people keep asking if we're going to do some of the shows. We're not going to do all the shows. We're going to do WandaVision, because what we're going to do is we're taking a break from MCU. We're going to get her. She's going to watch. She's only seen one of the Toby. She's only seen Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
She's never seen Spider-Man 1 or 2. So we're going to watch the 3 Toby movies. We're going to watch the 2 Andrew movies. Then we're going to watch No Way Home. People are like, well, why? And I say, do you remember the post-credit scene in No Way Home? Not No Way Home. Far From Home.
Oh yeah, Far From
and it's when J.K. Simmons shows up. If you don't know those movies, it's not going to have an impact on you.
Yeah.
So I wanted her to see those first. Then after Far From Home, then we'll watch WandaVision. We'll watch Loki. I don't think we're going to watch Hawkeye. I don't think we're going to watch. We're definitely going to watch. Not going to watch She-Hulk. We're definitely not going to watch Secret Invasion or Echo or Moon Knight. Hawkeye is probably a no. Yeah. So, and then I'm going to be doing Daredevil the new Daredevil by myself.
Right on. Yeah.
So, all right. So there you go. Which one? What'd you say?
Daredevil.
Yeah, the screeners. I think they come at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Hank Pym. Yeet. Elimination Chamber predictions. I got CM Punk. Yep. And Bianca winning. Tired of Bianca being wasted in tag teams, and Punk Cody will be massive. You know, I think that John and I are different page. I think that Bianca's a great athlete. I think she's good. I don't think she's a main eventer. I watch her in her scenes. She's not very good in character stuff. She feels like she's acting. I watched last night. I was watching a Raw when she was doing a scene in the back, and it doesn't seem authentic. And so she's a really big personality, good talent. But I just like, you know, you look at like, but what Rhea Ripley and like the top are doing, and I don't think she athletically 100. She might be the best. Yeah. Athletically, she might be the best. Right. But I think you need all of it, and I think she's fine. She's just not great. But you disagree?
No, I do. I like Bianca. I think she's fantastic. I think they need to stop saddling her with tag team stuff. She's had to carry so many tag teams And I think she needs to get just rid of all that stuff and focus on the singles push, because she was over like crazy when she had her singles push. She was appearing all over television on multiple shows.
But doesn't that say anything though? Doesn't that say something though?
What's
Like
that?
if you get a chance to hold the spot,
Right.
and if you can't hold the spot, you can't blame it on the writers or the company, because it's like, if the audience wants it, the audience is going to tell you that they want it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, who knows why it went down the way it went down, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. Because the powers that be sometimes will stop someone's push. I mean, Vince fought the Daniel Bryan thing all the way to the final beat until he had to give into it.
So there's merit to that, because we just had on Karrion Kross on Matt's. Karrion is. So here's the difference, and where I think Karrion is great on the microphone.
Yeah,
he is great on the microphone. And you listen to his kind of mentality of the business in general and how he sees it and how he approaches it. I mean, this dude is committed in general. Like, so he flew out just to do Matt's show, because he's just a big fan of Matt and he wanted to do Matt's show. But he didn't waste his time when he came here. He came in the night before and he went to Matt Serra's school to go and work out at Matt's school. And then he came in, he did Matt's show, he flew back to be with his wife. I was like, this is like, I was a Karrion Kross fan before. I'm a huge Karrion Kross fan.
Yeah.
And like I hope that he I asked him, and Matt asked him too, like, because I guess Matt had gotten, because Matt doesn't follow wrestling, so he was in his car coming back from Rogan's thing, and the guy asked him, because he told him Karrion was coming on. He goes, "How come they're not pushing that guy? He's underused." The driver, and so Matt goes, "The driver said you were underused. What's going on?" And Karrion had the best answer. Yeah, of course, it's a good company answer, because you don't want to get fired.
Totally.
but he had a great. He's like, look, there's a lot of people there that have contracts, and you want to make sure that you're using them, and you want to. And it was a very business savvy answer. Yeah. And I hope they push him. I really do.
Yeah, they've given him a lot of opportunities, but maybe not the best characters to play. And that's always been the negative thing with Karrion.
Yeah. But as far as the predictions, I got Punk winning for sure. Who's in the women's?
They just locked down one of the new ones last night. I don't know.
Okay, you'll look into it. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Israel. Awesome. A lot of new members today. Really appreciate it. Maybe that's because the new.
Here it is. It's Liv Morgan.
Okay.
So right, Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxana Perez.
Okay, so it looks like Charlotte Flair is probably going to fight Tiffy, right?
Yeah, she settled that on SmackDown on Friday. Yes.
Then it'll probably be, because so as much as what I just said, I still think athletically, Rhea versus Bianca is a great match.
People have been waiting for that match for years.
Totally. That should be the match. She should win. She should win. I don't think she should win against Rhea, but she should. But that's a good. That's a good feud.
That's a night one headlining match.
Definitely
Saturday night headliner match.
That's a solid. Athletically, it'll be a great match. Yeah. Ewok, can't wait for the Odyssey. I'm so excited that Nolan is making a full-blown period fantasy sword and sandal epic. Damon looks great as this. I couldn't agree more. It's going to be so hard for me when I'm making that most anticipated list of where to put things. I really don't know.
For 2026.
That's right. To PLD's chagrin, Derek Johnson throws in support.
Hey, thank you, Derek.
Throwing in
Keep
some
sending
more.
in your support, Derek. Don't let anyone tell you not to do it.
Derek probably just do it just to spite PLD now.
Yeah.
Good. Mirror Domains. Rhea Ripley is slowly bringing me back to watching the WWE. What other storyline should I follow right now if I'm just coming back? It's a great question. I just started watching. I was watching Raw last night. What is it? I think the Sami Zayn story is kind of good with Kevin Owens.
Kevin, that's a good. Yeah. Because those guys are old friends. Yeah. And they've battled so many times in so many different federations, and they battled together.
It should do a retirement match.
So it's great. Yeah.
It should be a retirement match.
Well, they make it an unsanctioned match.
I know.
Which makes it
what does that mean? But what does that mean?
It means everything's off the table.
I know. I mean, what does it really mean? It doesn't really mean anything. Like they should have gotten into this feud when somebody wants to take like a really big break. You know, like let's say Kevin's like, I want to spend some time with my family. I want to take like a year off. Then let him lose the retirement match. You know, like and then yeah, but unsanctioned match. And that I didn't necessarily love that whole bit. I love Sammy, so like watching Sammy come out, and then Adam comes out, and he's like, I can't let this go down. He's like, come back. He's like, all right, let it go down, but like, what are we doing here? But either way, I really like Sammy. I think the storyline's pretty good.
Yeah, and I think the Fatu Jacob Fatu, the Rabid Wolverine. You need to be watching that guy as well. He is
are they turning him face
star? I think it's coming close. They got to run through the storylines with the Bloodline right now until the Rock thing and finish that out. Yeah. But I think eventually he will become face because people want to cheer for that guy.
Ewok. The later Dune books jump ahead in time dramatically and tell a new story. I could easily see WB making a sequel trilogy, which could be connected and disconnected from the Villeneuve films. Yeah, it's just going to be you basically only have one shot after the Villeneuve films. You have one shot. Like it's like, okay, here's your movie. You don't have him back. Can you deliver this storyline without him? Because no one was calling for a Dune movie before Denis turned Dune into a thing.
Yep, 100%.
He did. Dune. Look, not the books itself, like the books and everything. It inspired Star Wars. It's classic. But Lynch tried to do it. Lynch kind of did do his version of it. And I think, to be honest, rest in peace, I think Lynch's version got people going, I don't know if I want to see that again.
100%.
It's certainly what it was me. It was Mark Riley, who convinced me. He's like, no. The books are really solid, man. You got to see what they do with this. And Denis just blew me away with what he did. So you've got to see, whether it's Gareth Edwards or whoever it is, has to come in and go, this is my version, and it's just as cool. Check it out.
Yeah, agreed.
More support from Derek.
Thank you, Derek.
He's throwing in the super chats for you.
Rabid Wolverine, that was someone else, so we don't talk about it anymore. He's the Samoan werewolf.
Okay.
Samoan werewolf. That's on me. Good.
Sean McCabe.
Hey.
Not sure how I feel about a new Pirates. Seems like beating a dead horse. You very well could be correct.
Yeah.
And that's what we said here before. It's a matter of, can they rewrite it, bring some new life into it? And because after the fourth Fast and Furious movie, people are like, come on, we're still doing Fast and Furious movies, and they spun it on its head and they made a new franchise basically from the fifth one on, and now we're at a place with that. When is that new movie coming out?
I don't know. That's a great question. Let's see. Go keep going.
Either way, okay, let's see. All right, wait.
Scheduled for March of 2026. Fast and Furious 11.
We'll see. All right, let's see. Damon looks great. He really does, Sean. He really does. I love that. More support from Derek. Armada. George Miller directed Pirates movie. Sign me up.
Ooh,
that would be good. But there was something else that he was rumored for recently. What was he rumored for, George Miller? That I loved.
I don't know.
Oh, it was something. Someone in the audience will tell us, but it was George Miller. It was something. Oh man, what was it that he was? No. World War Hulk.
That's right.
It was World War Hulk.
I'm down with that.
And there was something else. There was two movies. It was that and
the new Thor movie, maybe?
And Thor. That's what it was. It was Thor 5. I would much rather see him do Thor 5 than I would want to see him do a Pirates movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just Jolly, a new member. Nice. Are we getting all these new members because of the full on reaction? I assume that's why.
Probably.
Derek Johnson, the Odyssey is a huge story. This has to be a two-parter, right? No way you can tell this one in one movie. I just don't see Nolan doing two movies. I can see him doing a 3.5-hour movie.
Yeah. I mean, he just did the entire life of Oppenheimer in one movie. So
right.
Yeah.
I think it'll be one movie.
Yeah.
Marty becomes a new member. Thank you, Marty. Armada, do you think it's a mistake not getting a Greek cast for the Odyssey? Nah. I know it's a fictional tale and love the current cast, but just wondered about that. No. I'm not. There's sometimes that I understand when people get all up in arms about certain things and go, wait a minute, this person should be this. There's other times people do it. And I'm like, give me a fucking break. And this would be one of those times.
Yeah.
Like someone can play Greek.
We're very conditioned to these mythological films having actors who are not Greek. So
yeah,
it's not a big deal.
There are times I think people get a little too silly with that. Derek Johnson. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you, Derek.
Bradley Pooper. Do you have it in you to make it epic? I think so.
Furiosa, right? Do you have it in you to make it epic?
Yep. Sean McCabe, good to see you, Christian. Roka, my brother told me you were Army back in the day. I was a red leg with the 4th ID. Much respect, Outlaw. There you go.
8 years. 8 years in the service.
That's
31 Charlie. Yeah.
It's funny because I was thinking about that because you're a little older than I am. A little. Just a little bit. And I remember because we were around the same class at Florida State, and I was like, well, that makes sense. Now I know why. Because you were there. You were there.
Yeah, exactly. Because I took 7 years to go.
You took years off and then came back.
I tried to get PLD in, but they wouldn't let him in.
No, makes sense. Armada, Daniel RPK says that Gareth Edwards for Dune 4. Yep. We'll see. More will come out. And that's the other part of the story we didn't really cover. Let's also see how Jurassic World does.
Good point.
Because people sign people up for movies before they even come out. And then you look at like Colin Trevorrow when he had the what was that movie that he did in between the Jurassic movie? It was
Book of Harry or something like
Book
that.
of something like that. Something like that. Book of Henry.
Book of Henry.
And that movie ate it and got panned by critics. And then magically he got taken off of the Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Get out.
I think that, I don't think it was just because of that, but I think it didn't help because I also think JJ wanted to come back and she was like, oh, JJ wants to be back. See you later. Bye-bye. Colin Trevorrow got done dirty. He really did. No, kinda. He did.
Fair point.
And he's the only person. I don't care if you liked his script or not. He's the only person that actually paid attention to the directors and the story that came before him.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, this is what you guys set up for me. Well, that makes sense. Well, let's do this. Kept Kylo bad, doing all these different things. Okay, Rey's not really connected to anybody. I guess why this is the reason why in this. Okay, JJ set this up, so we'll continue this here. And he took what those two guys gave, and he said, well, this is the story, the stuff that they planted, then I have this. JJ said, Ryan said, no, we don't. Luke did what? No, he's a lone hermit. He's doing this. Fuck JJ. And then JJ goes, what? He did that? We're going to reverse all that stuff. Fuck that guy.
Fuck Ryan.
And it's right. So that was my favorite. That was my favorite is when the audience used to tell me, you don't know what you're talking about. JJ likes it. I was like, sure he does. Sure he does. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sure he does. That was my favorite. I was like, there's so much you can say. Top Gun. Oh, Tom Gun. Top Gun. Roka, what's your 10 most anticipated movies in 2025? Perfect. Did you make a list?
Dune 4.
Yeah. Dune 4 in 2025.
The Wasp.
Is it? Oh, the Wasp. Is that coming out in 2025 also?
Avengers versus X-Men.
Oh, perfect.
And Superman 4.
And Merle versus Roka 4. Okay,
Come
perfect.
on, let's go.
Timothy R. Williams. Christian, we got your thoughts on Spielberg's upcoming DC movie. DC movie? Does he have a DC movie? But John, who would you cast as the leader for Black Cock? Love you guys. Hoorah. Hooroo.
I don't know. Tracy Morgan?
Perfect.
My choice.
I don't see it. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Captain Penis says, I love Captain 4 Brave New World in IMAX. Fun Marvel action flick. I love that you loved it.
That's how I saw it. I liked it in IMAX.
But you had a good time. IMAX makes everything better.
That's true.
Crashing Coyote, please react to the last 3 Cobra Kai episodes we will watch. I gotta watch the second here. The problem is by the time I get to it, I don't know if anybody's gonna care because I'm still in. I've got to watch. Like last night, I started watching Raw. That's what I started watching first, and I was watching Raw, and I'm watching a little bit of it, and then my wife comes downstairs. She's like, "Well, the little one wants you to go lay with her, put her to sleep." I was like, "Okay, no problem." So I went up there, and I was with her for a little bit. Coming downstairs, my wife's clearly not going to watch Raw with me, so we were either going to finish that the Miles Teller, Anya Taylor-Joy movie, or we're going to do Saturday Night Live. So we watched Saturday Night Live. So I've got to find the time to watch Cobra Kai, and I got to get through the second half. Have you watched? I forget. Where are you?
I'm still catching up.
You're still catching up also. So I don't know if I'll be able to react to it. Derek Johnson throwing us some support. Thank you. Mladen Kulik. Bring back Zoe Saldana for the Pirates spinoff. Was she in Pirates?
Yes, I think she was. Yeah, I think she had a small role in one of the Pirates. Yeah,
makes sense. She was talking about Avatar, and she's like, when I signed up for this movie, I was 27 years old. By the time they finish, I'll be 54. For Avatar.
So take a look at your bank account, 27 and at 54.
Right. I don't think she was complaining about it. I think she was, yeah. And I wonder if she got, because the person who's probably still, he talks about it all the time. Matt Damon is probably still kicking himself in the asshole. Because you know that whole story, right? With Avatar.
Yeah.
Because he offered him the movie plus points on the movie. He would, and I think Howard Stern asked him at one point. The amount of money that Matt Damon would be worth right now is astronomical.
Yeah.
Like if he would have done those movies, and he was doing the Bourne movies, so he couldn't do it.
Yeah. Zoe was in the first one, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Was she really?
Interesting. Yeah.
Dancing Dog 60. Guys, Daphne Keane needs to be in Guns DCEU. Zatanna, Donna Troy, Raven, Jessica Cruz. She's way too talented to waste her at Disney. What say you? Agreed.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I think Daphne Keane, I still say, and John and I talked about this until we were blue in the face, the Acolyte should have been about her. It should have been her show. Totally wasted in that show. She's fantastic. She was great in the little time she was in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
She was incredible in Logan. She's a phenomenal talent, and I agree. I'd like to see her over in DC. I hope James Gunn scoops her up.
His Dark Material, she was great in that on
HBO. I didn't see that.
So
Okay.
it's like, I don't know what the problem is here, man. Get better representation.
Maybe she should be doing a lot more. I mean, Ariana Greenblatt is phenomenal. She's doing more than Daphne Keane, and they're both really, really good.
And Daphne's got a great social media following too, so it's all there. Yeah.
Space Jesus doesn't look like Roman versus Rock is happening this year. What do you think? Roman's really? Bro. You don't want to see that match?
The Rock tore ribs.
Oh, when?
Fighting Cena 15 years ago. What do you think he's going to do against Roman?
But don't you want to see? I want to see now. This was the year to do it, because last year was not the year to do it. This is the year to do it. Roman's not doing anything. Start building up that program. Who's Roman going to fight? See, Seth?
I don't know. Seth and Punk, the rumors Punk might lose. That Seth will get involved or Roman will get involved and Punk will lose, and so that the elimination, and that's going to set up the triple threat of the three of them at WrestleMania. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Cares? I want to. You've got a capital. CM Punk is like 43 years old.
Jim's like, The Rock worked great in the ring last year. He did in a tag match, bro. Tag match is not going to test you like a singles match. It's two different things.
I think that you could do that match, and I think you give in that way. Roman's been working really hard for long matches for the last like 15 years. Give him a shorter match with The Rock, and let it be more spectacle than anything else. And it's like the Hogan versus Rock match.
Yeah.
Like do something like that, and like do that match. And
I'm crazy that we live long enough that the reverse is.
Now. I know that build, but it's like you got to build it, and
you got to build it.
You got to build it. If you're not going to build it now, the question is who. I think Seth is the only one. I don't want to see CM Punk in a triple threat match. Let him get a title match. Let him fight Gunther.
Gunther.
Yeah, let him fight him. That'd be good. Now whether or not he wins or not, I don't know, but it'd be good. Those two going
fighting Jay. So that's
so that's right.
Yeah. Gunther. Jay.
It's funny because I watched after that whole thing, and we were getting to the argument with the guy in the comments that week about Jay. Look, I understand. Like I get it. I'm looking at the crowd. Like if I'm Triple H, and in my head I'm picturing 80,000 people going like this.
Yeah.
The whole time, the energy is going to be there, and the people are going to be losing their minds. So I get it.
Right.
But then I watched this promo in the ring. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Like it was emotional.
Yes.
But it was horrible. And like he doesn't say anything. And like you're gonna put a championship on that guy. It's the reason why he only hold a championship for like 2 or 3 months. I get it. He can get the crowd excited. He sells merchandise. Great. But like he's not the guy. He just isn't the guy. And that match against his brother was awful. One of the worst WrestleMania, right next to Michael Cole. One of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. Yeah. And I don't know. I would rather see CM Punk against Gunther, but I guess what?
It's Cena, Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins.
All right, so let's bring up each one again. First one,
John Cena.
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly, Paul. But then who? But this is basically who fights Cody, right?
Who fights Cody? Yes.
So if Cena doesn't win, who does he fight?
A lot
right.
Right. People saying Randy Orton, like relive that old.
Okay. All right. So maybe. So Cena, but maybe not. Okay.
CM Punk.
That's my pick. That's who I think you should put.
Okay. Drew McIntyre. Oh, you hate Drew.
Nah, I don't hate Drew McIntyre, actually. I think since they made him, he was great, but he's not the guy you want to see in another main event. His storyline was last year and is cooked now. So next,
you got to get him on Matt Sarah's show, and then you and him can have a separate.
I like Drew McIntyre. I just don't think I think he's much better as a heel, and I think that they do him dirty all the time. That guy does the job like every other Thursday.
Logan Paul.
I would love to see it.
I think that's going to happen.
I would love to see it, and I'll tell you what else I'd love to see. I would love to see him piss off the world and win the championship. I would love to see it. It would bring.
You rarely end WrestleMania with a heel winning the title.
That's what I'm saying.
Roman's.
I would.
I don't know.
I would love to see that. I would love to see this guy who doesn't even know what a work or a shoot is win the championship and hold the title and be flaunting it all over social media and people losing their minds. It would get a lot of heat and it would get a lot of people talking in the business.
Triple H loves that crap.
It would be huge. It would be huge. There's no way, though. They're not going to give it to him, but I would love to see it.
Damian Priest? No
chance.
And Seth Rollins.
I just think
Cody is amazing. But
we've seen it already.
Yeah.
It's a good match. We've seen it already. It's like out of everybody in there, I think if one of those guys was going to beat Cody, who would you want to see beat Cody? And for me,
Punk or Logan Paul.
Punk or Logan.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. All right, Al Patterson. Hope the rumor that Pirates 6 will be made with Johny Depp is true. The franchise is nothing without him. They'll need to pay off Pirates 5 end credit scene. Yeah, that the Pirates. I mean,
yeah.
What is the end credit scene in 5? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't think many people remember.
I don't think anybody remembers.
Yeah.
It's the truth. All right, next one. Go Pal. Hey. I believe I saw most of the first Pirates movies on a plane, but it was cut off for landing. The only one I've seen the whole way through is the last one. Oh, not the first one? I would watch the first one.
Yeah,
I would watch the first one. Okay, let's see. So after, sorry, I'm just trying to bring that up. All right, next one is Go Pal again, who says, but I only watched because I'm a fan of Kaya Scodero from Skins. Seemed fine. Yeah. Too good. Yeah. I mean, I would watch the first one, though, for sure. Yeah. Al Patterson, on a similar note regarding Baldoni versus Lively, I hope Disney doesn't do Ryan Reynolds what they did to Depp, especially after he saved Marvel Studios for them. I want to see Deadpool in Avengers 5 and 6. I don't think they're going to. He's one of those guys, though, that I mean, Blake Lively's in trouble. I think.
Yes, she is.
I think Blake Lively's in trouble. I don't think Ryan Reynolds is in trouble.
He's going to be fine, right? Yeah. I mean, people want to like Ryan,
right?
Blake has enough evidence that people don't want to like her. It's with Ryan. There's not those interviews. There's not those junket things where he comes off like an a-hole. Yes, there's stuff in the past with Alanis Morissette, but most people don't know that stuff. So with Blake, it's much more front-facing and recent. And I think they're going to end up getting divorced. That's what I think. The whole thing's going to end up leading to a divorce. But Ryan is going to be fine. He'll be Deadpool. No one's going to question that.
Right. Yeah, he's not. They need to pay that stuff off. So I think he's definitely going to do it. All right. Dancing Dog 60. I'd like the next Pirates film to be real swashbuckling like Jackie Chan's Project A film. Of course, it has to have a supernatural twist as well. I mean, it usually does in those movies too, right? So yeah, I think that I would like, it's like I say with all these movies, shoot it smaller. Don't shoot it for $200 million. Shoot it for $110 million. See what you can do with that.
Yeah.
Al Patterson, no Deadpool, no Doomsday for me if that does happen. Oh, I see what you're saying. So if you get rid of, I mean, I don't think he's going to be a major part of it, but he'll be in it.
Yeah, of course.
Sahita K, thank you, Sahita K, becomes a new member. Throwing in some support from Derek.
Thank you, Derek.
Timothy R. Williams, I hope Sam doesn't find out RDJ is Doom. I don't think she's going to pay attention to it all. She won't even know what it means if somebody wrote in the comments. Derek Johnson throwing in some more support. Yeah, I think that if somebody wrote that he's Doom, she's going to, what the hell does that mean? She doesn't even know who Dr. Doom is. Renetta W, some support for some of my favorite KH crew. Thank you, Renetta. Appreciate it. Sashita K just became a member for the Endgame vid. Okay, well, there's my answer. I think you guys said you have seen RR before. I was always curious what you two thought. Care for a 30-second review? I really enjoyed it. It's funny because when I started watching it, I said, I don't know if this one's going to be for me. And because everybody was raving about it, everyone was telling me I had to go see it. And it was like after all the hoopla, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I started to kick in it. I don't remember. how long into it, but at one point I literally remember thinking, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
And then once that happened, I just locked in and I loved it. I thought it was great. The action was phenomenal. The story was really what got me too. So long movie, but really stylistically just wonderful.
Yeah. Everything Kristian said, and a great performance from Ray Stevenson in that film.
That's
So,
right.
yeah,
That's
so
right.
good.
Yeah, he was really good in it. Derek, thank you. Darian Hartman. I can't see what I'm typing. Too busy crying as I watch Sam's reaction to Endgame. In 4 years, Roca and Morris will discuss on the Cinephiles and break my heart anew. Love you both. Yeah, it was like it was hard to watch when Sam was breaking down. It was like she was literally mourning for Tony. So it was like it was tough.
That film is so good. I watched it on
It's so good.
TNT with commercial breaks the other night. And
It's so good. It's so good. It really is. Al Paxton. If Pirates 6 with Depp made Davy Jones must return. I mean, you know, they're gonna
Bill Nighy? Okay.
maybe. Thank you, Derek. Derek coming in hot. Joey Pedras ran into Tracy Morgan recently at CVS. Super nice guy. Loved Eddie's impression. Do you have a Morgan sketch that stands out to you? I do, and nobody remembers it.
Okay.
It was when he was playing. He played the homeless guy that were writing a movie script, and Kate Hudson winds up like falling in love with him. She's at dinner in Hollywood. He crawls up out of the sewer, and he brings her into the sewer, and they start singing this song about pigeons or whatever it is too. I watched it so many times. I thought it was hilarious. That's probably that. And then when he used to dance with Jimmy Fallon and Chris Kattan and Horatio Sands in the Christmas thing, his little, then when he would do, all he did was this, and it killed me. So, but I loved, but the one with Kate Hudson was the best.
I think I remember that one. It's so weird. Yeah.
It's the best.
I mean, I'll always go with the Brian Fellows stuff. I
Oh
love
yeah. I'm Brian Fellows.
Because I grew up watching Jack Hanna and all those things. I'm having a completely different take on it. Was genius.
I'm Brian Fellows. This is so good. Xander Man. Roca, Arcane reactions. When?
I know. I'm sorry. Soon. I got to get together with my editor.
I don't understand. A Cali Kid. When is John Roca doing the Cinephiles Oscar live stream?
March 1st. We are doing March 1st, our first ever Cinephiles Awards show. Join us there. Free people. Everyone who's on the Patreon, you can join. So head on over there to Cinephiles and do it. Yeah. Thank you.
You are 100 away from tying Roxy from yesterday.
200 away. 200 away, I think.
Oh, yeah. 200 away. Sorry. Did I say 100? 200 away. Sorry. 200 away. Not 100. 200 away. James Diesel. Sarah Sherman is too cool and weird for current Saturday Night Live. Well, I'm hoping she can reshift it and she can make it. There are some really, I think that it's the most hopeful in general. I like Mikey Day a lot too, by the way.
Yeah, Mikey's great.
He's a utility player, but I like him a lot. I think he does really good stuff.
I think Ashley Padilla, who's one of the new ones, Ashley Padilla, I think she's gonna be like a fucking 5-tooler on that show.
Let me see.
She has done. She's starting to creep into certain sketches, and I can see her moving into like the Jan Hooks territory or the Kate McKinnon territory. So
interesting. I don't have an opinion on you yet. I don't know. There are two. Like I said, there's only 2 cast members that stand out that I think won't be on the show past this season.
Yeah,
new ones that are like they just don't have it.
Yeah, I think that tall one who came in that looks a little bit like
I'm not gonna I won't say who because I don't want, but I'm just gonna say there's two people on that show that I think will not be there next season.
Okay.
Matt Glacier, any Cobra Kai season 6 thoughts? There's a review coming. I haven't seen it yet. It's like one of those. It's like I love the guys. They're some of my favorite people in the world. Josh Hayden and John. I love them. They've been nothing but great to me. And just to be completely honest, I just have fallen off from the show a little bit. I just have to get back. I want to finish it. I'm not going to not finish it. I used to run to it and say, oh, I can't. I just haven't. I don't have that right now, and I don't want to force it. I do want to see it. I want to see how it finishes, and I will eventually get to it. But I have other things that I'm watching right now. Gopal. Dennis Miller is my weekend update anchor. Yeah, he really is. But because I started watching this way too young, it's sad what happened to him post 9/11. All that stuff don't know about. But like when it comes to him as an anchor, he was the best. Hey John, Any good San Diego food recommendations from Joy
It's funny
Pedro?
enough. Yeah, well, we just went out the day after Valentine's Day because we never go out on Valentine's Day, and we went to a restaurant over here in Poway called the Brigantine. Fantastic seafood restaurant. They make some good steaks as well, but just a great energy, great look. You wouldn't think it from the outside, then you go inside, and it's actually a whole nother experience from the look outside. And so great service and fun people there. So I definitely recommend the Brigantine if you head on over into San Diego areas like that.
That's a good place. There's some really good spots over there too, by the way.
Mhm.
Mike Pelly, Saturday Night Live 50 just made me feel really good. The jokes didn't have to all be funny. I love you guys. I think he hit it.
Yep.
I think he hit it. I think that's the difference there, is that a lot of times when you're watching Saturday Night Live, you're just going, because it's a cast that you just, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
that one wasn't very good. What the, who wrote that? No, thank you. At this, you're like, oh man, I get to see so-and-so interacting with that person. And you could feel the energy there was different. So I kind of agree. They didn't really all have to be on. It was just nice to see, but I am bummed that they didn't do Wayne's World. I can't believe they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Derek, I donate to everybody. Laughing my ass off. My absence really made you forget. No, we know you
Thank you, Derek.
you do. Well, of course you do. But PLD is trying to be a turd in this one.
Yeah.
Love Cox. I love Roca. Please allow super stickers.
Thank you, love.
It's not that I don't allow them. I allow them. I just don't. They don't count towards the tally because because the whole point when you put in what you just put in, you can write something like that. You can put in a short question. You can't do that with super sticker. The whole point is you should be able to ask a question and what do you think? You just want to write support on there, you can write it, but it's the ability to actually ask a question. Otherwise, that's why they don't count. Mike Joyce, PLD putting his finger on the scale. What else has PLD been up to?
Yeah.
We need the trial of PLD with JTE as a judge. I kid. I think you're onto something, Mike. Yeah.
I like this idea.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that PLD does that I like. That one I didn't like.
Yeah.
I don't mind him feuding with you, and I don't mind him. We're on opposite sides here, but I don't mind when he chimes in with super chats on other people's episodes. He spends his money how he wants to spend his money, but
it's his business. Yeah.
But tipping the scale, I don't like.
That's
that I don't like.
I got no problem. Ball busting. Let's do it.
I'm with you
on the scale. No.
I'm with you on that one. That's Martha Stewart stuff.
Yeah, because you're messing with Kristian Harloff, who is, like a big entity right now that he is building, and you want to come along and try to ride the coattails. You got to respect the king,
the business. He is a business.
Don't be the court jester in the court. Yeah, that's the difference there.
Well, it's not the court jester. It's like sticking your hand in the pot and just throwing the money all over the floor and then saying, "Oh, we'll put it back in the pot tomorrow." It's like, no, don't do that. Mearsham, support for John. You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Look at Ron. Ron Shooting Jr. has became a member. Amanda Wibberman became a member. Thank you, Amanda. We got all these members today, man. From I guess because again we put that promotion out there today for the Endgame.
Nice.
Why does Sam hate Lord of the Rings? How are you planning to convince her? She doesn't hate it. She thinks she's going to hate it. That's the difference. She doesn't think that Sam doesn't realize how good those movies are, and Sam will love those movies. And she's never seen Game of Thrones because she doesn't think it'd be up her alley, but it will be, and she'll be locked into it. So yeah, now Star Wars, she's never seen any of them. I don't know if she's going to like those. But I do think that she'll love Lord of the Rings. I do. I think she'll get locked into it. This episode has got us the most members so far. Nathan Perrier is going to become a new member. Derek Johnson. Hey. Bianca needs some work on the mic skills. For the rest, she's top tier talent. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
That's Sasha had those issues, and she was still great.
But she never got to that level that that Rhea's at. She never got to that level that Liv's at. She never got to that level that Becky was at. She never got to that level. She was always right there. Yeah, but her mic skills are so important.
I agree.
They are so important. She's just not good on the mic. And so she's phenomenal in the ring. She's one of the best in the ring, by the way. Yeah. She's one of the best. She's really, really good. It's just you got I was watching her in that behind the scenes things yesterday. I'm like, I don't like in anything. This isn't just wrestling. This is when I feel like they're acting. I don't feel like I don't feel like that person is real.
Yeah.
I want to have the illusion there. And I was like, oh, it was like bad schmodown acting.
Yeah. Oh my God, remember
Yeah,
those?
you know that, and I've seen like when Bad Schmodown acting, it was like, oh no, like I can't even tell you how many scenes I've cut because of Bad Schmodown acting, and there was some Bad Schmodown acting, and that was Bianca has Bad Schmodown acting. Chrome Rogu, hey y'all, love the content. Just watched A Gentleman 2019. I just watched that probably last year. It's fantastic.
I love that.
And my God, did I love that movie? What'd y'all think about it? I loved it. I had people kept telling me to see it because speaking of the Schmodown, everyone said that Colin Farrell is essentially playing Bobby Finstock in that movie, and he is.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I watched it on a plane on the thing, either on the way to New York when we were coming here to set up. I think that's when it was when Brett and I came here to New York. I watched it. I loved it.
Yeah, I watched it as one of the last few screenings in 2019, and so I remember just coming out going like, I know people don't want Guy Ritchie to go back to this type of movie again, but he nailed it. So, and then I haven't seen the series. I hear the series is just.
I heard the series is great. I haven't seen it either. Patty Boy,
hey,
Patty Boy, it's me. Daddy's making trouble. Thanks for the VIA promo code, Christian. You are welcome. The gummy bundle and vapor are magical. I'm telling you, those sleep ones. Ooh, I love, because a lot of times there are sometimes you take a gummy and you wake up and you're like, ugh, right? Oh, not these. VIA is the best. I have more characters. Thoughts on the hot run that Honora is on right now?
Yeah.
John and I talked about this yesterday. I think we both think the Brutalist is going to win, but we're both not going to be surprised if Honora does win.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's it. Gopal. The sci-fi adaptation was good, though. Sarandon was an odd choice. She's 30 years older while playing the younger sister of Arulan. Okay. I mean, Gopal's a big Dune guy.
Yeah. I didn't see that series, but I agree with you. Like sometimes Sarandon gets cast and stuff, and I'm like, she's the wrong choice. I get that you all wanted to sleep with her when you were kids, but like she is the wrong choice. Teenagers, rather, she's the wrong choice for some of these roles.
Who is Susan Sarandon?
Susan Sarandon. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not always the biggest fan of her as an actress.
Oh. Well,
although I watched Bull Durham again the other day, and I liked her.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. Mirjam, what is the funniest movie series that you saw? Recently, I would say Shrinking.
Ooh.
Shrinking is so good. Anybody want some pancakes? Fuck yeah, I'll have some pancakes. My favorite. It's the best.
I don't know. I have to have 30. Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec.
That's the funniest one you see ever, or just in general?
I don't know about ever, but
yeah, ever. I wouldn't say Shrinking, but I would say the most recent. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to think.
Gopal, the biggest obstacle I see for children is a character that in the book can be a mystery, but on screen will be hard to pull off. You know what he's talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Yes, I don't know enough about it.
Gareth Edwards to do it.
Okay. New member, Daniel Jenkins. Hey. Thank you, Daniel. And a lot of new members here today, guys. Thank you very much. Okay. Adit Mahmood. Sorry. Has the Domingo SNL sketch reached its peak? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I think that they have taken that as far as it can go. Almost even with they brought back the baby hands with the sister with Kristen, right? And it was good to see it again, but that's another scene that was going. They milk it and they go as much as they can, and yet I think it's time for Domingo to take a break because it's like the bit. Although Molly Shannon was the best part of that sketch when she was humping Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. Yeah. That was hilarious. She was like, I don't think he was expecting it either. That was the best.
You got to have the right person. And no offense to Sabrina, I think Ariana's a better performer.
Yeah,
and she made that sketch come to life.
Yeah,
with Sabrina, not quite so much. So yeah.
Sean McCabe, Roka, love the RTOs. You're almost as important as the docs.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Sean McCabe is a newer viewer, but he's been Sean, in here a lot lately.
I love that beard. If that's him, that's an awesome beard.
He looks like him and Saul could start a band. And kick the shit out of you, the both of them.
Or a sword epic. I don't know.
Yeah. I am Two Fly Cam. Pirates with Depp feel so desperate by both parties. The comment on the Daphne is spot on. She's needed to go to DC. Amazing. There's no Supergirl leaks yet. Give it time.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, there'll be leaks on that one too. Kenya King, Daphne Keene to be the new Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Is that true?
No, he's
just saying casting. Okay. Maybe I'll sign up to anything that she's doing. I think she's great. She's really
Buffy.
I think so too. I agree. Bradley Pooper, your favorite chain. Me and Ed in my area is pretty good. I'll tell you, I miss In-N-Out.
Oh, really?
I miss In-N-Out.
Brother, there's one literally 3 minutes from my house.
Yeah, you're in San Diego.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they don't do it in East Coast. It's not an East Coast thing.
Yeah, you got Five Guys over there.
Yeah, it's all right. I had that in the city, and it's like if I never go back, it'll be fine. They have Shake Shack and stuff here too, and it's fine. But it's like if I'm gonna have like I miss In-N-Out. I'm coming back to California in August, and I will be hitting up In-N-Out when I get there. There's no doubt about it. My kids would not forgive me if we didn't go to In-N-Out. You have a favorite chain? She said your favorite chain, pizza.
I thought he was saying pizza chain.
Oh, pizza chain. No, I don't like pizza chains. I like the real pizzerias.
I go Pizza Hut every time.
As they say in my neck of the woods, fuck a Pizza Hut. Haskell 420. R. Emanuel said something is big planned. Imagine chambers are empty, smoke fills one up, Rock rises up from inside, fans explode, final boss makes an executive decision, surprise entrance, and Rock and Cody WrestleMania. I don't want to see.
No,
I would hate that. Rock versus Cody for the title. I would hate that. That I would hate. Rock versus Roman would be great. Rock and someone else versus Roman and someone else would be great. Rock for the title. No, thank you. That sucks.
I would take Cena and Cody over Rock and Cody right now.
Yes, me too.
Even though I'm not, I don't want to.
No, I would hate that. Cupcake Bliss. Really, you think that they will divorce? Is this scandal that'll be cause you? Oh, you thought they would divorce. You said that. I don't think they'll divorce.
The reason I bring this up is a lot of people are speculating that the reason he is upset about the whole situation is he might have stumbled upon text messages between her and Justin and got jealous, and he's the one that maybe motivated her to log this lawsuit. So I don't know. And certainly if you go back and watch some of the comments that people have made about Ryan, how he allegedly cheated on Ryan with Blake Lively, how he screwed over Alanis Morissette. He doesn't have the best track record in relationships. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a lot of pressure. You know how Hollywood is. Hollywood people ain't normal people. If you're affecting the brand,
right,
divorces, breakups, stuff happens.
They've been together for a bit now, though. So
7 years.
No, longer than that. They met on Green Lantern. That was 2011.
Oh, right. Good point.
Yeah. Damien Eve, are you guys looking forward to next year's Project Hail Mary? Fantastic book, The Martian author. I think it's right up your alley, Kristian. I don't know enough about it, but I believe you if you think that it's be something that I like. Because I like The Martian a lot. So I don't know enough about it. Do you know anything about it, John?
I don't actually. Okay. So I'll be looking forward to it as well to see what the end result is.
Yeah, I like the author. RJ McReady, when you consistently put out great content and regularly have engaging live streams, your channel simply grows. Keep up the great work, gentlemen. Thank you, RJ. I mean, that was kind of the goal, right? You got to be able to pivot and do certain things and change things up. And I wanted to do that. And I'll tell you, the thing, YouTube can be frustrating, but YouTube also can be very satisfying when you start to almost like listen to it, right? And I think that what I really liked what they did is they essentially have like 3 different algorithms. They have a live algorithm, they have a shorts algorithm, they have the regular video algorithm. And so once they separated that out, and my videos now are separated from my live streams, and the live streams now, you guys know. And so I have a lot of fun doing it. I have a regular crew that I like doing. So I'm excited that you guys are getting involved in it too.
Yeah.
Bradley Pooper, what's your favorite pizza? Mine's meat with extra cheese. I'll tell you, normally I like just regular cheese, right? But since I've been back in New York, the ones that I'll go to outside of that, I'll do a Sicilian slice for sure. There are a lot of good Sicilian slices, but burrata slice, they got a great burrata slice over here. Nice. And mushroom slice. Those are the ones I like.
I'm a 5-topper.
Okay.
And I like chicken. I like pepperoni. I like meatball with green pepper and black olives. That's my choices.
Oh, black olives I can do without, but the rest of it sounds good. James Dunn, thank you, James Dunn, for becoming a member. Unheard Sirens Incorporated. Are Mike Myers and Dana Carvey on speaking terms? Maybe that's why they didn't do Wayne's World. It's a good point.
They seem to be okay. I mean, Dana Carvey was recently on the Howard Stern show, and he said they patched everything up, and they've been for years. But it may just be that Myers is someone who said recently, like, he doesn't like to go and do his old stuff. Like, he's really kind of.
But I get. But for the 50th, come on.
I know. I hear you. Come on. It might have been Dana.
Maybe Clay. Where was Dana on the show at all?
I don't think he was.
That's crazy. He was on every single show.
Yeah.
Like leading up to the election, he was on every show, and they don't get him on for the 50th. He was hilarious as Biden.
Oh my God, he was great.
He was hilarious.
Hey,
and here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Seriously, folks, killed me.
It's as good as Sudeikis's from years ago in completely different form.
It's the best. It's the best. Clay Titus farts in a basket, tisket tasket. Roga's an oldest king nuts casket.
That's true. Still look younger than you though, Clay.
Joey Pedras gonna meet Joe Piscopo tomorrow at a book signing.
Hey,
been sending your interview with him to my friends that are big comedy buffs. Any other comic interviews on deck? Do me a favor, Joey. When you meet him tomorrow at the book signing, tell him that you found him. Or maybe I think that's true. You tell me you saw the interview with me on there. And tell him I said hello, please. Any other comic interviews? Not yet. You know, like I said, I got Manganello coming up. There's some other people on deck. So I'll let you know as soon as we lock some stuff down.
Nice.
Al Patterson, Pirates 5's end credit scene is Davy Jones's return. Oh, I see. Okay. So maybe, they're going to pay that off. Okay. I wonder. Sean Zimmy, I made the 18-hour drive to Minnesota from Minnesota to Minnesota. I assume that is right.
From Minnesota to DC this week.
Right. Okay. Wow. You both saved my sanity during a long trek through blizzards and rain. Appreciate you both very much. Special shout out to Steve and the Cinephiles. Thank you, Sean. That's I always love hearing that. And I'm glad that we have enough on here, enough content that can give you that ride, because hell, you got, these shows are like 2 hours long. So if you listen to all 5 of them from the week, you're probably pretty packed up. The winter shoulder. I like that. Shoulder. What would you guys think of Disney bringing J.J. Abrams back to recut, add scenes to the sequel trilogy like George Lucas did? I mean, TLJ, let it. As Kylo said, let the past die.
Yeah, let the past die.
Just let it go. Just let the people like them, and then just get the hell away from them.
Just push them out to sea.
Yeah, please. Dennis Hoffman, watching on delay, but just saw Frank Grillo on Army Hammer's podcast. Interesting. Ooh. I know Roca. But could you see him uncanceled next? Love him in Man for Monk. Well, he wasn't. Here's the thing.
Yeah. He
wasn't convicted of anything.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't convicted of anything. He said weird shit to people. They never found body parts or anything in his fridge or anything like that. He said really weird shit, kinky shit. It's potentially possible that he was kink shamed. It's potentially possible. I think he's an elitist fucko, personally.
Yes.
Does that mean he shouldn't work? No, it doesn't. Does it also mean that people have the right to say, I don't want to work with that guy because there's too much weird shit involved, and there's other people who don't do that weird shit? It's their priority also.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a possibility that he could probably do more stuff because, it just seems like he likes weird shit and he says stupid shit and he was a dickhead to people, is what it seems like. Yeah. But I don't think he did anything to end his career unless people look, there's people that I've met in the past and people have said, hey, you want to work with that guy? I was like, no, that guy's fucking weird. I don't want to work with that person. He's weird. I don't, that's fucking bizarre. I don't know. Like, it never did anything to me, but I'd rather not work with that person. It's fucking weird. So yeah, it's a tricky thing. Where do you stand on it?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch that House of Hammer documentary, it is a rough watch. He comes from a long line of people who've done some males,
crazy shit,
who've done some pretty nefarious, crazy shit through the history of Hollywood.
Yeah.
They've been there since the beginning of LA, and so you see that this is a learned pattern of behavior towards women, towards people who they consider lesser than. And someone's saying he's got to eat. Army's just fine, people. Army has millions upon millions upon millions in that family. He is just fine. Don't let him portray himself as some kind of guy who's like struggling to pay his bills. He loves to say, I had to start a podcast and I was out here. It's ridiculous. He's got family money. It's nonsense. But yeah, the stuff of him, I agree with you. He comes off like an elitist prick. And look, he wasn't that great of an actor that it was a loss, for God's sake. So, sure, he can come back if he wants to, but he's got to be good. And I don't know that he's necessarily great. Like Lone Ranger tanked. Man from Uncle tanked. That tells you something.
Yeah, but I mean, look, but there's also Man from Uncle is a good movie, by the way. Mm-hmm. And then Call Me by Your Name did not tank, and he was good in that.
Right. It's more Lucas.
I'm just saying. Haskell 420.
No.
Rock beats up on Punk in the chamber. Roman runs in, helps Punk win. Heyman owes Punk versus Cody, and Rock versus Roman. I'd rather that. I would much rather that.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That to me, I would be like, okay, I'm on board with that. I would love to see. And I'd love to see Punk cheat, go heel, and win. Julius Wyatt. I just hope it's not Cena versus Logan Paul at Mania. Is that something that's possible?
Yeah, well, for his retirement match, it could be Logan Paul versus Cena, like old versus new.
But that's not his retirement match, right? Because didn't he say it's a full year that he's doing, or is he just leading up to WrestleMania?
I think he retires at WrestleMania.
Oh, really? I thought it was a full year. I thought he had one more year. That 2025 was
no sense to retire any place other than WrestleMania.
I don't disagree with you. I just thought that it was a full. I thought it was a full year.
Has it been a year? Well, maybe I don't
know. No, well, 2025 is when he started his tour, his comeback tour.
That's true.
Because let's say, because here's the thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a year, dude, because he said that he made, like, let's say he would have.
Okay. Yeah, it's for Christmas of 2025.
Okay, because let's say he would have won the Royal Rumble, right? And then he would have won the championship. What is he just going to retire after he wins the championship?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I do hope that they do another WrestleMania 4 tournament thing. They haven't done that since WrestleMania 4. Like a tournament throughout the whole, like throughout the whole event. Yeah. And like then the final thing is the last two people, and you don't know who's gonna. I really would love to see them do that again. That was one of my favorite things. Now, you knew who was going to win for the most part in that, because, like, you know, especially today, if you were following wrestling the way that you do, you knew that the Junkyard Dog wasn't going to win, or there was one. I did think that they should have, and they missed the opportunity to do it. Steamboat was in it, and he got knocked out quick. But like Steamboat and Savage were in the same. They should have had them fight again, and this time Savage won. They should have done it. But that was back in the day when they didn't do babyface versus babyface.
Yeah.
Because remember how big of a deal that Hogan versus Warrior thing was.
WrestleMania 6, bro.
Yeah, it was huge.
Massive.
Yeah. Brooklyn, green olive and Brussels sprouts pizza. Oh my God, please stop this. Mayo sauce, you're full of shit. Top with Dilsey, New Hampshire style. If you haven't tried it, you're not being serious. You're not being serious. I can't even put that on my screen anymore. Brooklyn, stop that. RQM DSMD. Good show today. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, man. Yeah, we had a good vibe this week already. Yeah. We're at 110 already. Pretty damn good. Big Bang Q024. What kind of Game of Thrones movies would you like to see? Oh man, that's tough. Movies, I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest, because if you're going to do a movie, maybe you do a movie to see what happened after the events of season 6 or whatever it was, where Jon Snow is, and maybe not make that series about Jon Snow, maybe make a movie about him. Yeah. I don't know. John, you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see more with the stuff going back with the dragons and all of that. I mean, we got some of it going on with House of the Dragon, but I'd like to go even further back in time with that whole legacy, or as you said, the future. What would the future look like without dragons, without any of that stuff?
Yeah.
What political intrigue can you discover there? Yeah.
I'd also like to see what's the oh my God, the freaking Targaryen, the great Targaryen.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Aegon? You mean Aegon?
Yeah, the one that everyone wants to aspire to be, like his movie. Give me his movie. Big Bang OT4, Jacob Fatu, future multi-champ and tribal chief. People love this guy, huh?
Him and Braun Breaker will headline WrestleMania the next 5 years. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
If Braun Breaker doesn't pull a hamstring, he's only
kill himself.
There's only so long that he's going to be able to do what he's doing. He's running 175 miles an hour in the ring.
No,
it's like there's only so long you can do that. Like, I don't care. You know, how old is he?
I think he's only in his 20s.
That's my point. I'm going to say he's 29 years old.
Okay.
What is he?
He is 27.
27. Okay.
Not too bad.
He's got another 3 years of being able to run around like that.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Not at that speed. What he's doing. Like he almost decapitated that streamer.
Speed, yeah.
He almost decapitated him. It was one of the greatest moments ever.
I agree.
It was great. Anyway, all right, John.
Yeah.
Any other day, we are saying how incredible a 111 day is.
Thank you.
It's not even a scratch to what you guys did yesterday. Not even a scratch. Yeah. 293 yesterday. You needed quite a lot to catch up, but not today. So PLD's mission was complete.
Oh no!
Today it looked like so.
Oh, stop it. This thing needs more ego.
But but it's not going to be ego because it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to beat you and Roxy. It's not just Roxy on Monday. You and Roxy. So tomorrow I will be back. I'm going to do a live show, and we're also going to have Joe Manganiello doing the show. Thursday will be Steph and Mike Kalinowski. Friday will be the Capes and Cows, Gents, Winston and Coy. So no MCU reaction on Friday, but we will have the Nosferatu reaction with myself and Tina. Although there is a possibility, don't hold me to it, there's a possibility we could have the first Tobey Spider-Man movie on Saturday, but if not, you'll get that on Tuesday. Tina's great. She's great. John,
yeah,
where can they find you?
Please come find me at The Roca Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. I'm trying to build up over there on Blue Sky as well, but really it's the YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Roca Says. As I said, Geek Buddy spoiler review for Captain America 4 is up now. We're going to have a live show tonight, live show tomorrow night, and then stuff coming up for the Geek Buddies Jedi Way and the Hot Mic. You don't want to miss the Hot Mic, for God's sakes. We're on a run right now there on Thursday. So come and hang out with us. Thanks, everybody, for the donations, for the lively chat. And thanks, Kristian. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Take care.
Hey, listen.
Oh, no.
Wait, before you go. Who's going to get canceled first? Hey, who's going to get canceled first? Me or Jeff Snyder? Come on, be honest.
Big balls or Jeff Snyder?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because people are already stealing my moniker and shit, giving it to Elon Musk.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Got the big balls up there. I'm the first big balls.
Big balls? Oh.
Yeah, they're ripping shit off like Amy Schumer steals jokes. Come on. Come on, man. Yeah.
Look, he can't have big balls if he's artificially impregnating people. So, you know.
Not him. Some stupid ass teenager saying, I'm big balls. I go, bitch ass. These are the real big balls. Come on, man. All right. You go do what you do with your little cock on your hat. Bye, cock hat.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.
See you later. All right. Thank you guys for joining the show here today. Really appreciate it. We are going to, I didn't take a shot at Schumer. Big balls did. So we are going to be back here again. If you did not see the Endgame reaction, please go and watch that and support Sam. And if you haven't followed Sam on Instagram, please do that. Sam Reacts N1. Go check her out over there. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. And we'll see you on the flip side. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Mustard.